Furlongo. Wingers are Will Warbrick and also Mania Fateri. The centres are Jack Howarth and Nick Meaney in his 100th game for the Storm. 5'8" Cam Munster. Halfback Jerome Hughes. The lock Trent Liero. Second row is the young gun Cooper Clark and Joey Chan. Front row is Josh King and Stefano Utuikamanu, and the hooker Harry Grant. The captain with a bench of Tyron Wishart, Alec McDonald, Jack Hetherington, Davey Moali, Sean Bloor, who's been out for a while, and Hugo Peel. The coach Craig Bellamy. Melbourne on play 2. Have it 18 out from their own goal line. Peter Goff, the referee. Kieran Irons and John Stone are the touch judges. Liam Kennedy is in the bunker. I'm alongside former Canberra captain Alan Tung. John Gibbs is on the touchline. I'm Andrew Moore here on NRL Thursday. Welcome. Later it's Penrith and the Dolphins in Darwin. Melbourne 33 out from their own line. Harry Grant sends it right to Longo, and he's going to be captured about 3 short of halfway. And over the top came Horsburgh with Mariota. The ball played on the last. Comes right to Hughes. Sends a kick downfield to the left wing. Odd to see Chris there. He takes it though. 10 out from his own goal line. Returns it, and he's caught 18 out from his own line. No score after the opening minute. Alan Tung, good evening to you.
Yeah, thanks, Andrew. Really great kick-off and good defensive set there from the Canberra Raiders. Great line speed, but on the other side, the Melbourne Storm, really simple, hard running there. Has got them into some really good field position and really back in their defence here now against the Raiders.
Well, after criticism from Craig Bellamy last week after their heavy loss to the Warriors, where he said, I may as well have been at the pub having a couple of beers, you'd expect Melbourne to be really fired up. Canberra, though, 5 short of halfway. Good, strong run. 20 in from touch on the western side. It's played by Sasangi. Comes centre field left. Tarpany. He's captured 7 metres in Melbourne territory. Played on the last, and it comes from Starling. He sends it left. Kick from Ethan Sanders. Down to Furlongo. He's going to take it near the eastern touchline. A good catch, about 15 out from his own goal line. No score on the board, as now Melbourne has a tough set. Played to Hughes. He sends it to the left side as the Storm work it to their own 20-metre line. Defence from Horsburgh. And here's a terrible pass out of dummy half from Grant. Good hands by Howarth, taking that as he's falling over. 26 out from his own line, southern end. Now they work it right to left. Munster gets the pass away and bustling into the defensive line. Meany tackled. In fact, it's Fatari is caught 11 short of halfway. Played to Grant. Goes right to Munster. Then away centre field King. Josh King's caught 6 short of halfway. Last tackle Melbourne. No score here at Canberra Stadium. Played to Grant. Comes back left. Munster the kick from halfway. Down to the northern end. Underneath it Kaio Weeks. 15 out from his own line. And the bloke who scored a 99-metre try on Saturday in Perth. Here he's captured by Liero. Make it 25 out from his own line. Quickly played. And now right to Jed Stewart. He scored 32 out from his own line. Nearly 3 minutes gone. No score. Let's check in on the touchline. John Gibbs, good evening.
Well, this is a tough battle. Good evening to you, Andrew and Alan. This is a tough battle already, but running out of dummy half, Tommy Starling, that's what they need more of. That's what ignited them when they're going well.
Starling, 10 metres in Melbourne territory, plays it. It comes open side left to Horsburgh, and Big Red's tackled 29 metres out for the Melbourne line. Canberra on the attack. It's aesthetically pleasing combo, isn't it? The green of Canberra, the purple of Melbourne, kicked downfield by the 5'8" Sanders, and the tackle is made.
He's dropped it here, Andrew.
A lost ball by Will Warbrick, and who else but Hudson with an H? Hudson Young says, give it to me. He picked it up off the deck and scores a try. Will Warbrick the spill, 3.5 gone. Canberra 4, Melbourne 0. Incredible.
Well, when I first saw the kick there from Ethan Sanders, I thought it was going to go too deep and they were going to catch it in the in goal. He doesn't do that and then gets to the ground as quick as he can, and then they drag him back, and it looks like the ball has come free, as I think it's Matt Timmercore trying to drag him back in goal. Bobbles the football. Warbrick gets down to the ground. Timmercore's around the waist. They drag him back. He tries to get the ball down to stay in the field of play, and Hudson Young is there.
So you can't, if he's tackled and his elbow's down, you can't drag him back, but his body was in the in-goal area. His arm was not Will Warbrick, I think you'll find. Timmercore spins him around. The feet slip in goal, and in the end, the defenders come in and he loses it down to John Gibbs on the touchline.
Well, this will be a technical one if they deny this, but look, for all the intents and purposes, you would think that he is still playing on, but he did have both hands on the ground, but he wasn't laying on the ground, so he might have picked that ball up and ran. So I think it should be a try. It's an absolute shocker from Will Warbrick. He thought he was back in his rugby sevens days.
So it hasn't been confirmed yet, but equally we haven't seen Peter Goff play now we do.
Start to set up. They're still having a look.
Oh, start to set up, he tells Ethan Strange for the kick at goal. So still officially,
set up.
Peter Goff still doesn't have word from Liam Kennedy. And I will say this about Liam Kennedy, big stretch in the bunker. He's normally the quickest decision maker of the lot. What do you reckon, Tungy?
Well, I think, like Jonty said there, he's trying to get into the field of play. Yes, he puts it down there, but he's not laying down on the ground like you see some players surrender. So I think this should be a try.
And Gibbs is right. If it's not, it's the most technical kind.
Possible accidental offside. Oh, accidental offside.
Okay, so Gibbsy, that's something we weren't expecting.
No, so that means someone else touched it. He's got the ball there. I'm looking at this closely.
It touches Seb's leg.
Oh, wow. They got out of this one. They got out of this one by the hair.
But there's no offside here, Gibbsy. It comes
Need to now make sure it doesn't hit Hudson into Seb's leg as well.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, it does. This will be no try. This is ridiculous. Speed of play, ball in play. How long? I feel like I've been here since
At
about
this stage,
4
you
this
can
morning.
see the ball is touching both Raiders players. This will be accidental offside. We'll go back for the first infringement.
See,
but knock on.
That is frustrating, but it's technically right.
Still play the original knock on yet.
So it's going to be a knock-on by Melbourne.
First knock-on.
It'll be a Canberra scrum feed, 10 out from the Melbourne line. 3 minutes 27 gone. Not really the 15 hours, 27 minutes as suggested by our man on the touchline. But it's going to be a scrum feed for Canberra, and really is, I get what Gibbsy's saying, but it is...
Technically?
Yes.
Right.
It's the decision that they probably had to make. So Will Warbrick's got a big grin on his face. I'm not surprised. Scrum feed Canberra, though, and they're all set up to the right.
Adam Mariota out in the back line too. Hosking.
Yeah, two big forwards. Now Mariota's been told to go in and pack in the scrum. Matt Timokor is the lock. Oh no, he's in the second row. Tom Starling is the lock. The ball fed by the winger, Sebastian Chris. But of course, comes to the right. Sanders gets it away to Hosking, and Hosking's caught 12 out for the Melbourne line. You're with Alan Tung, John Gibbs, I'm Andrew Moore, NRL Friday. And here's a penalty against Melbourne for being inside the 10. First penalty of the match goes to Canberra, and what do you do here?
He's going to take the scrum again there. Hope he might be able to get him offside once again.
Oh, you were all right with that decision, Gibbsy?
Take the 2 points.
They're not going to, they're not listening to you again. So Canberra scrum feed, 10 metres out. If there's another infringement, there'll be a sin bin. But we very rarely, I don't think I've ever seen that. So Chris throws it in and picked up by Starling, goes to the right, Sanders to Mariota. It's a case of history repeats itself. He's caught 8 metres out in front of the southern goalpost. No score, Canberra on the attack. The ball played Starling, sends it right to Horsburgh. Right foot step into the teeth of the defence and taken onto the deck. 5 metres out, right in front of the right upright at the southern end of Canberra Stadium. Starling swings it left, through hands it goes. Sanders to Weeks. Got a cut out pass to Chris, but he's nailed. Put to the ground, 7 metres out, just in from the eastern touchline by Warbrick. Plays the ball to Timokor. He sends it right to Hudson Young. Denied the try. He's caught 8 metres out. I think he scores every time I call him Hudson Young. It's unbelievable. Starling goes to the right. Sanders to Strange. Then away through hands it goes, making half a break with a one-handed pass away to Semi Sasangi for the try. That was brilliantly done by Ethan Strange, and it's a try to Semi Sasangi. 5 minutes gone. Billy Walker blows that horn, and Canberra is in front. Canberra 4, Melbourne 0. They did that pretty easily. Great setup by Strange and the finish from Semi Sasangi.
Well, the good players, they make it look easy. Speed and power, that's what he has got there, Ethan Strange. He just saw half a little gap there, just because the outside man just got up there from Cameron Munster and he just pinned his back, just took him on, and then the strength to get that arm free, and Simi Sasangi, he's having a wonderful season. But the rhythm from the Raiders is the best that I've probably seen them this year. The way that they're going forward, the shape that they're throwing at the Melbourne Storm, some really good signs. And when that man, Ethan Strange, is running the football, that is a good sign for Green Machine fans.
Crowd cheering here because try confirmed. Down to you, John Gibbs.
Yeah, and they deserved that one after the debacle of the first one, which was a technical call, and it was a correct call. But two things here, and I don't resolve, by the way, of building a game and getting to 2 points. They've done well to get that. They have confidence in each other. But the run from Tom Starling was aggressive, and the run from Ethan Strange also. And this kid, he can nail them, and I'm right behind him, Andrew.
Ethan Sanders, 21 metres out, 5 in from the western touchline. I thought we were going to get more of a whispering Ted Lowe, John Gibbs there. Sanders with the left boot. He strikes it. He likes it. He's kicked the goal. Great start, Canberra. The Green Machine 6, leading Melbourne 0. 6 minutes 30 gone, and the Raiders have absolutely dominated those minutes. Around the grounds in Super Rugby second half, Auckland Blues 19, leading Otago Highlanders 14. Now on the text line, 0467 920 222. They're on these Raiders lookout. Melbourne, says Tim. Yeah, they look very much on. Decisions involving the Raiders are always examined under an electric microscope. Think back to finals week 1 last year. Well, that deserved a bit of microscopic consideration. Here's the kickoff taken by Stewart, gives it left to Mariota, and he scored 10 metres out from his own line. 0467 920 222. Thank you for your nice text as always, Dion. Lovely to hear from you. Here's a penalty against Melbourne inside the 10. So the first 2 penalties of the game go to the Canberra Raiders. And look, it's only early and they've had to do a lot of defending, Alan Tongue, but Melbourne look off the pace.
Yeah, and this is what Craig Bellamy will be filthy about. They're disciplined to a T. When you think of Melbourne Storm, they're relentless. The way that they just continue to go, they starve you of the football. They don't give you anything at all. And a couple of cheap penalties here, so some real worrying signs.
From the restart, it's Horsburgh tackled centre field, 6 metres short of halfway. Liero involved in the tackle with Harry Grant. He's all over him, and Horsburgh not happy. Played to Starling, goes left. Good strong run by Mariota, got straight past one. Tuigamanu. That caught 6 metres in Melbourne's half. Played to Starling, comes open side right to Tarpany. He's wrapped up, 37 out from the goal line. Canberra 6, Melbourne 0 early going. Played to Starling, goes right to Strange, hands it off on the inside. To Simi Sasangi, as always, beat the first man as he strolled through the defence there of Clark. 29 out from the Melbourne line. Plays the ball to Starling, goes left to Horsburgh, plays out the back to Sanders, then away to Kyo Weeks. Weeks accelerates, dragged to the ground in the far corner, and only about 7 out from the line. Jerome Hughes involved. Played to Chris, goes right to Sanders, crossfield kick looking for Sasangi. Up they go, the ball tapped back for Canberra, and it's with Horsburgh. 6 more tackles. Ball touched in flight by Melbourne, and Horsburgh got it down. He couldn't. He did. Big red. 10-0 Canberra. 8 minutes 20 gone. It was touched in flight by Melbourne. It was 6 more tackles for Canberra, but they needed 6 more seconds, not 6 more tackles. Try to Horsburgh. It's 10-0 Green Machine.
What about that? The kick across field, pinpoint by Ethan Sanders to start that off. Some really good structured play there from the Raiders. They're on the front foot at the moment. Melbourne struggling to control that ruck speed. The kick across and that man, Simi Sasangi, is having an absolute belter to start this game. He taps the ball back. There's a little Melbourne hand in there from Waitiri, and then it's Big Red. And he's got 1, 2, 3. There's 4 involved. Doesn't look like there's any chance of getting the footy down, and somehow he does. Raiders 10-0.
They shouldn't have upset him in the last play the ball. Corey Horsburgh try. Touchline, John Gibbs.
Well, Corey Horsburgh, he's done a great job to get that down despite the attention of some big-name players there, including Cameron Munster. He's got the ball down, but really, he should have been giving it on the outside because they had a 2-man overlap and they would have been scoring out wide on this western side. He thought, I'll take them on. He knew what he was doing, but somehow he's been able to beat all of those players.
So it's 10-0 Canberra. We might need to send a bolo out for Craig Bellamy. We sure he hasn't spattered and left.
We're still waiting here though, Andrew.
Well, surely the grounding is the only thing. Ethan Sanders wants the shot. And at this rate, this game could end at 8:30. So try confirm now. 9 minutes 40 gone. NRL Friday on ABC Sport. Canberra 10, Melbourne 0. Now, we pretty well know that no lead is really enough, but Canberra looks so dominant. Melbourne can't get its hands on the footy, and Canberra look twice as quick as them and keen as them and all that stuff at the moment. So here's Sanders, landed a beauty. His first kick, he's 20 metres out, 13 or 14 in from the western touchline. Moves in now with the left boot. Sanders strikes it, likes it, kicks the goal again. He's 2 out of 2. Canberra 12, leading Melbourne 0. Not yet 10 minutes gone.
And this is where the Raiders have really got to keep their foot on the accelerator here. They've started some games in patches, even last week against the Rabbitohs. A really strong start, but a simple error or a penalty has just let the opposition back in. And yes, Melbourne are off the pace at the moment, but they've got the players and the strike to definitely bounce back into this game. The Raiders still need to play that ruthless footy that they've started the game with.
Well, the first thing Melbourne needs to do is not give away a penalty in this set, and the second thing is get their hands on the footy. Kick off deep into the northern end of the ground, taken by Jed Stewart, gives it away to Mariota, who returns it with interest, taken 15 out from his own line. Canberra last week led South at half-time 24-4, but then in a blink of an eye, the second half was 24-22. Canberra, though, did win by 2, as now the Raiders 20 out from their own line. So Sungy plays it, comes left to the try scorer, Horsburgh. He's wrapped up 27 out from his own goal line. Grant was in there with Utoga Manu. Played centre of the park to Starling. Penalty, Melbourne.
Corey Horsburgh here. He's given him a mouthful when he got up to play the ball.
Well, how dumb is that? Penalty goes to Melbourne, 30 out from the Canberra line. And if Craig Bellamy was entitled to be filthy with a penalty his team conceded previous set, Ricky Stewart's entitled to be filthy with that.
Absolutely. And these are the little moments that were mentioned here. The Raiders, they've just had that little bit of ill discipline, turn the footy over. Melbourne on the attack here now.
You lead by 12-0, you've scored a try, and you give the referee a gobful playing the footy. Unbelievable. Melbourne on play 2. Munster to the right. Hughes turns it back onto the inside as the storm through Chan. Tackled 20 metres out from the Canberra goal line. First test for the Canberra defence. Harry Grant out of dummy half. Goes left to Hughes. Short ball King. Josh King's caught about 14 metres out from the goal line. In there with Hosking. It's played to Grant. Drifts to the right to Hughes. Then out to back to Fa'alongo. Right foot step pass. Well over. See ya, Fa'alongo.
Oh, he's quick.
See you later. Peter Goff points to the spot, and just like that.
Oh, he's hurt though, Andrew. He's on the ground. I hope he's okay.
He's trying to get to his feet. He's clutching at his left ankle. Sua Fa'alongo, who gets the first try for Melbourne. 11 minutes 30 gone. Canberra 12, Melbourne 4. Kick to come, Storm. Trainer out there with Fa'alongo now.
Oh, I dearly hope that he's okay. He hasn't got to his feet yet, but the speed of the man, we know he's got so much strike, but it comes back to that ill discipline there. Corey Horsburgh gives away a penalty. They're straight on the attack, speed out wide, and Fa'alongo scores in the corner.
Down to the touchline, John Gibbs. This has been a crazy start.
Yeah, it has, and I hope Fa'alongo's all right, because he's been the one player that's been scoring points. He showed and he goed. It was brilliant running. The acceleration was magnificent. That's now 9 tries in 7 games for Fa'alongo, and this year, and he had a streak broken last week. He scored 5 games in a row until he got nothing against the Warriors. But that is all on Corey Horsburgh. I don't know whether he said much to Peter Goff, but he was complaining about the blokes on top of him. But there you go. It changes things dramatically.
Just inexplicable. So here's Nick Meaney, 19 out, 11 or 12 in from the eastern touchline to get Melbourne to within 6. Moves in with the right boot. Meaney strikes it, likes it, kicks the goal. And just like that, it's a 6-point game. Canberra 12, Melbourne 6. We've only had 12 minutes and 49 seconds of madness around the grounds in the rugby. It's now Auckland 33, leading Otago 14. On the text line, 0467 920 222.
Oh, sorry, Andrew, just looking at some vision there of Fa'alongo. His left ankle, just as Ethan Sanders comes down on it, really, but he's getting back in the line there now with some real troubles there.
Andrew, Canberra, you've started on the road to a spriggy tonight. No dog in this fight for me, as I've had my one win for the round. Good on you, Paul. Yeah, it's looking like a spriggy long game, that's for sure. Kick-off taken by Hughes, gives it left to King. He scored 15 out from his own line. Looks like Tungy's the last survivor of the Canberra commentating crew, so good to hear him still on air, says Neil. Yeah, Timmy Gable, the legend, has retired, and Sam Williams has brushed us to go up north and coach in the Queensland Cup. Here's Utoikamanu, caught 30 out from the Melbourne line. You seem to be the common denominator, Tucker. What's happened?
That's right.
Comes left edge now, and Clark's tackled 8 metres short of halfway. 12 in from the western touchline by Sasangi. Played to Grant. Goes open side right. Melbourne working the ball 2 metres in Canberra's territory, trailing 12 points to 6. Last tackle, and it's a kick downfield coming from Hughes. Oh, it's over the head of Jet Stewart, who did very well to take it on the slide. Beats one and now caught 4 or 5 out from his own line. And what's happened here? They haven't lost.
On there.
Well, this Jet Stewart now, inexplicable mistake. And Canberra, Gibbsy, has literally handed this back to Melbourne without even a whimper, as worryingly, Failongo's down again.
Yeah, he's not good, and he relies on his speed. Munster might have had a play at that ball, but Jet Stewart's got to hang on to it in that situation. Failongo's being attended to, but when you're as fast as him, he is like grease lightning. You can't afford to be limping. He's limping back in a position. They do have a kid, Hugo Peel, who's a fullback who's been doing good things in the pathways, and now New South Wales Cup for Melbourne. So that could be a direct swap or bring a time wisher.
Comes left to Failongo, still manages to beat one, even though he can't move. Comes back to the right, and there's Thrillum in a player's tackle. 8 metres out for the Canberra goal line. Grant awaits at dummy half. Sends it away left to Liero. He straightens into the defence of Mariota, Hosking, and one other in there, Tarpany. He stands in the tackle a metre away. 12-6 Canberra, but Melbourne on the attack. Munster goes right to Utoikamanu up the middle. He's going to be taken. Horsburgh in there with Mariota. Stands in the tackle a metre out from the goal line, right in front of the northern post, and he gets pantsed as well. Now to the right, Jerome Hughes, dummies. Got a pass away to Will Warbrick. He's over untouched. He timed that to perfection, Jerome Hughes. And Canberra give the platter to Melbourne, and Melbourne gobble it up. Canberra 12, Melbourne 10. Try to Warbrick, quarter of an hour gone, Alan Tuck.
Yeah, well, if we take it back just a couple of sets there, the points after points, you know, you want to complete your football. They did that well. They went about 55 metres upfield, and a great kick. Jet Stewart did great to be able to get his hands on the football, but then the little knock-on presented great field position, then out wide, just a little bit of space. That's all he needs. Positioning well will Warbrick, but I tell you what, the pass from Jerome Hughes and the vision, absolutely spot on.
And John Gibbs on the touchline. I think the worrying thing for Canberra among many at the moment is they've had 2 chances, Melbourne, and they've scored easily both times.
Yep, and Matthew Timokor and Seb Chris on that left-hand side there, and they were really showing up. There was some good passes, as you say, Alan, on the inside, but the defence out wide was very, very ordinary. Now, Andrew, I just want to take you back a few weeks ago, the start of the competition. Cronulla were playing Canberra. Canberra, Corey Horsburgh got binned. Remember a ridiculous one? Cronulla turned the game around and just bolted away from them.
Well, it's been an issue he's faced ever since we've seen him in the top grade. Here's Mini, 22 out, a metre or 2 in from the eastern touchline. Strikes it, looks like it's going to miss near side, no goal. Not too far away. He's 1 out of 2, and it keeps Canberra's nose in front. Canberra 12, Melbourne 10, and we've had only 16 and a half minutes of play. So Canberra scored in the 6th and 9th minutes, and Melbourne score in the 12th and 16th.
Yeah, amazing footy going on here. And you're right, I must admit, just watching, you know, a lot of the Raiders players, you know, trying to really fight to play the football and, you know, putting their arms up in the air rather than just trying to get to their feet. But then Corey Horsburgh, we don't know what he said, obviously, but obviously enough to warrant a penalty there.
Well, it takes me to what happened with Port Adelaide and the AFL Tribunal and an umpire last week. Zach Butters, their captain, has been fined for suggesting or saying to the umpire, how much are they giving you? And he said to him, that can't be a free kick. And the AFL Tribunal sided with the umpire, so that's been a talking point in their code. And I wonder what we'll hear from Horsburgh later as Melbourne work it. 25 out from their own line. Joey Chan plays it. Comes back centre field as Melbourne take it past their 30. Canberra 12. Melbourne 10. 17 minutes gone. Now a kick from inside the 40. Jerome Hughes looking for a 40-20, but it bounces. It turns Kyo Weeks around. Now he has it 15 out from his own goal line, wrapped up 22 out from his own line. And I wonder, provided Failongo is okay, if the two fullbacks, whatever you can do, I can do better, and they put on a bit of a show here tonight. Sebastian Chris now, caught 28 out from his own line, plays the ball, and it's works centre field right to within 13 metres of halfway. Canberra with it after those two early tries. Now Timokor plays it. Comes right to Jed Stewart. He's put down 4 short of halfway. Near centre field by King. Then played to Starling. Goes left to Tarpany. And Joe Tarpany's going to be wrapped up by 3 Melbourne defenders. 7 metres in Melbourne's half. Canberra 12, Melbourne 10. Last tackle Raiders. And it's off the left boot of Sanders from 42 metres out. Down to the fullback. Failongo catches it. 9 out from his own line. And Hudson Young with Timokor lead the chase. 10 metres out from the Melbourne line. 18 gone. Canberra by 2. 12-10 is now Warbrick. He's caught coming back towards centre field. 14 out from his own goal line. Plays the ball now to Hughes. Comes centre field left to Mini. He's wrapped up about 22 out from his own line. In fact, that was Howard, I beg your pardon. Now comes left to Munster. Dummies his way into the defence and popped a magnificent pass out the back as well to Mini. And Mini's tackle, 32 out from his own goal line. Stands in the tackle, now on the ground. Plays the ball to Grant. Goes short side left to Munster. What a pass away, but it's dropped on the wing by Fateri. It's picked up now by Tarpany, who dead set falls over the touchline. But it'll be a knock on Melbourne after they look so good. And it's going to be a scrum feed to Melbourne, 10 metres, 20 metres in from touch western side, right on halfway. 19 minutes gone. Canberra 12, Melbourne 10. And I think Tarpany might kill up some ribbing about that.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, still, it was a tough pass there, a tough little position, the Melbourne Storm going down that short side. But I tell you what, Joe Tarpany, yes, he might have jumped, slipped over the edge of the line there. He seems to always find a way to be in those positions. He's a front row. He should be in the middle of the field, but his cover tackle there, it'll be in the picture there just in case.
Scrum one here by the Canberra Raiders, and they have it just short of halfway. 20 in for the eastern touchline. Young plays the ball to Weeks, goes left to Timokor, and Matt Timokor is felled. 8 metres in Melbourne territory. The Raiders led 12-0. They now lead 12-10. Starling sends the ball right. It goes through hands. Sanders, Strange, Hosking, and Hosking's caught 10 metres in Melbourne territory. Dummy half is Starling. He'll go short side right to Ethan Strange off the deck. Terrible pass. Sasangi couldn't handle it, and Jed Stewart, he never came close to picking it up. Nick Meaney does though, and then he's over halfway into Sasangi and Hosking. 2 metres in Canberra territory, so Canberra making some really poor errors here. Hughes goes right. Failongo. He accelerates. Sanders there. Good tackle. The ball comes out the back right though to Warbrick. He steps in field. Caught 4 metres in Canberra's half. 20 minutes gone in the game. Canberra 12, Melbourne 10. Now the ball comes centre field left. Joey Chan up over the 40. He's wrapped up 37 metres away from the goal line. Grant goes left Liero, dummies his way into the defence, middle of the park, northern end. He'll play it 25 metres out from the Canberra line. Harry Grant awaits at dummy half. Liero plays it to him. Look right, goes left to Munster. Munster at dummy, bounced away from one-hander away. Back it comes to Cooper Clark. He threw one, dragged down only 5 metres out by Kyo Weeks. He'll get to his feet and play it. Melbourne looking dangerous. Grant from dummy half. Set restart. The markers were offside. So the set restart for Melbourne, the first of the game. Ball played to Munster. Long pass goes right to Hughes to Failongo. They got numbers. Failongo takes on Timokor, put to the ground, ball and all with Young. 9 out from the line. 10 in from touch in that northeast corner. Ball played down to Warbrick. He sends it away, centre field left. Utogamanu. He's caught 5 out from the Canberra line. Raiders clinging to this 12-10 lead. Melbourne look ominous though. Grant goes left to Hughes and out the back to Munster. Delayed pass to Fateri. Dragged down only 5 metres out from the line by Sasangi. Plays the ball quickly to Meany. The pass goes open side right to Munster. Double pumps it with a cut out to Hughes. Then away Grant to Failongo. Floats the ball over the top to Warbrick, but it went forward from Sir Failongo. Warbrick denied a try, and Canberra will get a scrum feed. 14 out for their own line. Nearly 22 gone, Alan Tongue, and it remains Canberra 12, Melbourne 10.
Yeah, well, to take it back, great work from Harry Grant at dummy half. Just to see that Kyo Weeks was out of position, got his team another set of 6. And I still think there's plenty of joy down that right-hand side for the Melbourne Storm. Matty Timokor there and Seb Chris just haven't got that rhythm out wide their first game together, and Seb Chris pushing to the wing. They look a little bit vulnerable.
Let's check in on the touchline as the scrum packs, Johnny Gibbs.
Yeah, players coming at them left, right and centre, and they're struggling, aren't they? Defence is optional really for Canberra, so after getting away with that 12-0 lead, they're just gone into a slumber. They want to wake up quick, otherwise the Storm will put on a couple more tries.
Here's Jet Stewart running right across field on play 2. Wrapped up 20 out from his own line by Liero and Utoiga Manu. Played to Starling, comes left to Mariotta. He's been running hard and he's standing the tackle here. 29 out from his own line. Starling, short ball goes left side to Young. He offloads in the tackle to his right to Tarpany. Tarpany on the angled run himself into Munster and 2 others on the deck. 10 metres short of halfway. Cooper Clark came in over the top. Now Horsburgh, flick pass, back to Strange. Ethan Strange back towards centre field, but all this at slow motion, and he's tackled 6 short of halfway. Last tackle Canberra. Raiders lead 12-10 here at Canberra Stadium. Play to Starling, goes left to Sanders, boots it end over end down field for Failongo, put the hand up, takes it, 10 out from his own line, sends it left to Warbrick, middle of the park, and he is caught in the chase of Hosking, about 23 metres out from his own line. 16 minutes 40 to go first half, and it's 12-10 Canberra. Now the Storm, Tungy, move it just outside their 30.
Yeah, and I think it won't be too long, I think, before they start to make a few changes, as we can see Noah Martin just start to take his coat off the back here at the moment. Just a few of the big boys in the middle starting to get tired. Look for Harry Grant, Failongo there to get more involved.
Well, it's Grant playing it to Failongo. It comes left to Utoiga Manu, and heavy contact, but he's felled half a metre in Canberra territory. One-handed pick up, dummy half Grant, goes left to Munster. He double pumps it to Cooper Clark, standing in the tackle of Tarpany and Sasangi. 34 out from the Canberra line. Last play Melbourne. It comes to the right. The kick from Hughes. Following it through is Munster. Kaio weeks through the air with a catch. 8 out from his own line. 24 gone. Canberra 12, Melbourne 10. You get the feeling just now this game is starting to settle down. As it comes left to Sebastian Chris. Don't forget your text messages are welcome. 0467 920 222. I'll get to some of those shortly. Here's Hudson Young. Centre of the park court. 19 out from his own line. He'll play to the northern end. 3 plays into the set. Comes right to Strange. Takes on the line again with a bit more vigour than his last run. But he's caught by Utoiga Manu and also Munster. Now played short side right to Noah Martin just on the field. He's wrapped up 32 out from his own goal line by King. Played on the last to Starling. They need a big kick from Sanders. It's not terribly deep. It's well positioned. Failongo takes it just in from the western touchline, the Johnny Gibbs side of the ground. Then he scoots back to the right and he's claimed by the chase. 14 short of halfway. Canberra 12, Melbourne 10. 15 minutes left in the half, so we haven't seen a try here for 9 minutes, which is incredible, Tungy, the way this game started.
Yeah, it is, but they're getting into their rhythm. In particular, Melbourne, they're just rolling up the sleeves, getting forward, kicking deep into the corners there and really back in their defence, getting numbers in the tackle. And for the Raiders, a little bit too much one-out running. Against this Melbourne Storm side, who are so good in their wrestle, they need to put some shape around the footy.
Melbourne 37 away from the goal line. On the field for them, Alec McDonald and Sean Bloor. Good to see him back. Grant goes right to Hughes. He gets straight past one. Hughes still going. Past 2, 3. Drag to the round. Gets up, goes again. Offloads to his right. They switch it back to the left. And Grant away to Munster to Failongo. Then through hands with Teddy. Links up with Meany and he's over in the corner. What a try. What an effort by Jerome Hughes. Nick Meany the finish and Melbourne's in front. 25 minutes and 50 seconds gone. Melbourne 14, Canberra 12. That was a heck of a try set up by Jerome Hughes.
Well, just when you say we haven't had a try in 9 minutes and all of a sudden keeping the ball alive. And we just talked about that arm wrestle that they're in at the moment, but Melbourne certainly on top. Jerome Hughes heavily involved, getting the ball, got a tackle to the ground there a couple of times. They found a way to get back to his feet, beating Joe Tarpany. Martin gets back, the ball spins to the left-hand side. A little bit of the defence, they were caught short on their numbers. Jet Stewart comes in and the pass on the outside to Meany, who scores in the corner, strolls over.
I'm not sure, John Gibbs, we've seen Jerome at his best too often this year, but that was him at his best.
Yeah, it was, but also some of the tackling. Ethan Sanders, Joe Tarpany originally, then Noah Martin. I mean, had spiders all over him. Seriously, what was happening? And then when they sent it out the other side, they've had success over the right-hand side. This time on the left-hand side, Andrew, I'm not kidding you, you would have scored. You would have just stood out there, you wouldn't have done much, you'd have plenty of air in your lungs, and you would have strolled over. They was fair dinkum 10 metres without another plane near him.
Fall over. That might have been the only over I was doing. Here's Mini. 22 out, a metre in from the western touchline. 27 gone. Melbourne 14, Canberra 12. Mini strikes it, heading towards the post, likes it, kicks the goal from touch. He's 2 out of 3, and it's now Melbourne 16, Canberra 12. You're with Alan Tung, John Gibbs. I'm Andrew Moore on NRL Friday, and if you have just joined us, Canberra scored twice in the opening 9 minutes and looked like they were going to flog Melbourne. Semi Sasangi and Corey Horsburgh scored. It was 12-0, but then we saw drop balls. We saw Corey Horsburgh give away a penalty with the ball in hand, 30 out from his own goal line for giving the ref a gobful, and Melbourne went on to score. They scored in the 12th, 16th, and now 26 minutes through Farlongo, Warbrick and Meany. And Melbourne's in front 16-12. What happens next? These chapters are moving fast and furious. Kick-off taken just in from the dead ball line by Munster. Passes right to King, and he's tackled 9 out from his own goal line. In the Super Rugby, Auckland 40, leading Otago 26. Great call, Andrew, as always. Love the ABC Sport. Best in the biz. Thank you, Morgan, listening on the Central Coast. Chris is in Canberra. That Melbourne tries a metre forward pass in slow-mo in front of the touch judge. Please help. Can't help, Chris. Here's Melbourne on their own 30. Maybe Canberra can help themselves and remember how to tackle. Comes right to left. Munster away to Bloor. He's going to be caught by 2 defenders, Martin and Tarpany, 4 short of halfway. Played to Grant. Goes right to Munster. Plays out the back to Hughes. Links up now with Farlongo. He got the pass away to support. That's Howarth. And Howarth's going to be tackled 34 out. Melbourne is all over Canberra at the moment. Played to Farlongo on the last. Goes left to Hughes from 32 metres out. Towering kick down for Kyo Weeks. It's a great chase. And I tell you what, Warbrick got there first and knocked it on. Will Warbrick got there first, got the touch, changeover. Canberra will get the footy a little fortuitously. 10 out for their own line. Melbourne 16, Canberra 12, 11 minutes 30 left in the half.
I know they started a little slow, Melbourne Storm, but they're looking like the team of old here at the moment. I know the Raiders' defence isn't up to speed at the moment, but they're playing with plenty of intensity, kicking the ball long, and their kick chase, numbers in tackle, controlling that ruck speed. This is the Melbourne Storm we know.
They've looked great in the last 15 minutes, no doubt. Here's Canberra with the footy now, 28 metres out from their own line. Has been forced across field there, Tarpany. Played to Starling, goes right to Horsburgh. He dummies his way into the defence. Good run. Ends up on his back, 11 metres short of halfway. King was there with Grant. Played Starling, goes right Strange, low trajectory kick. Farlongo, I tell you what, he's covering good ground to prevent him from being a 40-20. Taps it in field, a metre out from his own goal line, then shoots across field, and he's caught. Great chase. 2 out from the line. He is the best, Hudson Young. That's a phenomenal chase. I'll tell you what, John Gibbs, Farlongo, despite that ankle injury, he looks as quick as ever.
No, he's okay now. He's got the movement back into it. He got it strapped on 2 occasions. He might have a needle at half time. I'm not sure, but they need him. But he is fast. But that was a great chase by Canberra, in particular Hudson.
Crowd getting involved. It's ended up being a really good crowd here on a 6 o'clock Friday night game in Canberra. Grant goes left to right. Through hands away to Hughes, beats one. Dragged down 14 short of halfway, threatening to send this game right away from Canberra on his own. Hughes played to Grant. Goes left on the last to Munster. Oh, a towering torpedo punt. Kyo Weeks, good catch. 19 out from his own line. Then he sets sail across field. Straight past Howard. Warbrick's got him 10 short of halfway. You do your bit down there, Sewer. I'll do mine down here, says Kyo. As Sebastian Chris with head up centre field. He's captured just short of halfway. Set restart. Goes against the Melbourne Storm. And the bell sounds as it comes right on the play the ball to Stewart. That's Canberra's first set restart. Only 2 in the game. 5 metres in Melbourne territory. Stewart plays it to Starling. Goes right to Big Papa on the field. Josh Papali'i. And he's caught 38 metres out from the Melbourne line by Bloor. Dumbing half Starling. Centre field left to Sanders, away to Strange. Left foot step by Ethan Strange. Beats 1-2. Caught now by Grant and one other defender, Hughes. 20 out from the Melbourne line. Played to Starling. Goes to the right to Sanders. Back on the inside now, and Hoskins caught about 14 metres out from the goal line. Canberra looking sharp here. Sanders goes to his right. Strange, a little stab, keep it straight into Melbourne. That was poor. Munster picks it up and he drills drilled into the deck by, I'm sure, a frustrated Strange. 11 out from the Melbourne line. So 9 minutes left first half. Melbourne 16, Canberra 12. Melbourne 12 out from their own line on play too, and that's been a much better set from Canberra.
Yeah, certainly wasn't. It was on the back of that kick chase there by Hudson Young. Really turned the momentum of the game. The Raiders are trying to get on the back of this, but Melbourne still really rolling up their sleeve. Ethan Strange, he would have loved that kick again.
He's that guy though, Hudson Young, isn't he? Much the same as Hughes is probably for Melbourne. Here's a low trajectory kick by Munster. I fancy looking for a 40-20. He does find touch. It'll be Canberra play the ball on this western side, 30 out from their own goal line. But the scoreline 16-12 to Melbourne, having trailed 12-0, and still just over 8 minutes to go in the half. And Canberra will get this play the ball. Sasangi's got the ball in hand at the moment, but he hands it off to Starling, who gives it to Horsburgh. And Corey will play it to Starling. Goes left to Chris. And off the left wing, and Sebastian Chris has taken 15 short of halfway. Next game, of course, from Darwin is the Dolphins against Penrith. Canberra comes right now to Matt Timmercore, wrapped up 8 short of halfway. Centre field, defence from Alec McDonald, and also in there was Joey Chan and Harry Grant. They give away a set restart for Canberra, so 2 in quick succession. And now the Raiders get into Melbourne territory. Good strong run there from Martin. Plays the ball western side to Starling. Sean Bloor is all over him and gives away a very obvious set restart. So Canberra has it now through Horsburgh. He's caught 8 metres in Melbourne territory. 16-12 to the Storm, but the Green Machine have it. It's played to Starling. Goes left now. Sanders away. Taking on the line is Hudson Young, but he's captured. 35 out from the Melbourne line. Hughes was in there. Long 2 with Howarth. They work it right. Sanders to Strange. Then away to Sasangi. Boy, there's a shock. He's tackled first go, and it was Waiteti. 31 out from the line. Played to Strange. Goes left now. Coming back infield, Horsburgh. Flick pass back to Sasangi. Taken to the deck. 22 out for the Melbourne goal line. 2 tackles left for Canberra. Starling goes left to Sanders. Then away to Weeks. He lost it. And then Howarth can't take it. But it's a knock on Canberra. That was poor from Kyo Weeks. Melbourne will have the scrum feed. 12 out from their own line. 6 minutes 30 left in the half. Melbourne 16, Canberra 12. Touchline, John Gibbs.
Well, they're up to it defensively there, Melbourne, which is good. They put pressure on Kyo Weeks because a little bit like Furlongo, he is just so dangerous when he takes off. But I thought the set before that, when Melbourne were trying to work it away from their own line after the poor kick from Ethan Strange, the defence of Canberra was much improved. They showed a lot more enthusiasm.
It's just bizarre how it fades in and out, Alan, isn't it?
Yep, that's right. That's been, their Achilles heel, I suppose, all season. It's just that inconsistency that they need here. Really important set right at this moment here. The Melbourne Storm been really good coming out of their own end. The Raiders ideally love some points before half-time.
Warbrick plays it from the scrum win. Grant goes left to Munster. He's tackled 29 out from his own line. Martin was in there defensively. Now Grant, short side left to Bloor, and he hits it up into Papali'i and 2 others. Down he goes. About 11 short of halfway, and 10 metres in from the western touchline. Grant sends it away right edge this time, and Cooper Clark's caught, but now they're inside the 10 Canberra, so a set restart for the Melbourne Storm. 3 short of halfway. Grant works it right. McDonald, he's caught 5 metres in Canberra territory. Plays the ball. Lost it, Alec McDonald. The play after getting a set restart.
Might challenge this, I think.
They're looking like it, aren't they, Tungy? Grant's raced over to Peter Goff. Let's have a listen to the referee now.
Captain's challenge, mate. Melbourne challenging the on-field decision of a lost ball.
They're pretty adamant too. I'm not sure what that means exactly, but they're very adamant that they wanted to challenge this. With 5 minutes and 4 seconds left on the clock, was Alec McDonald interfered with.
Well, the knee of Tom Starling, crowding play. There's a left hand there that you can't quite see there from Tom Starling. Certainly his knees are involved there.
There's flapping hands, but I don't see any on the ball as such. It's going to be hard to overturn on those 2 angles anyway. Oh, this angle might be the best one.
His hand's around the football, but he pulls that away. But it hits the knees of Tom Starling. I'm sure they call that the crowding They're getting nice and tight.
Stop, mate.
Cameron
With all
Munster's
of
trying
our
to throw
angles,
his
there's nothing clear to show the ball. We'll be supporting the on-field decision of knock on. Melbourne will retain the challenge.
I think John Gibbs, Liam Kennedy's got that 100% right based on what we saw.
Well, I'll go 98% because I think that should have been thrown out, should have been dismissed, because if he's not going to get in for crowding, there was no touching of the ball. He's either lost it. It was a loose carry. Alec McDonald had all responsibility there to take the ball. It's not a bad result for Canberra anyway. It's a bad result for Melbourne because they don't get the ball. Canberra get the ball with 5 minutes before half time, but that was a very dubious challenge. Lucky to get away with Melbourne.
So Canberra scrum feed, 6 short of halfway. Trailing 16-12 in a weird first half, that's for sure. Scrum fed in 1. Starling goes left, Sanders away to Young, centre of the park. And Hudson Young's tackled 3 short of halfway. Dummy half Starling. Comes to the right, Horsburgh. Right foot step, great tackle, ball and all by Harry Grant. Now 2 metres in Melbourne territory. Now Starling to the right. Papali'i plays out the back to Sanders. Dummies takes on the defence. Call 1-on-1 by Munster, although Bloor came in as well. 31 out from the Storm goal line. Horsburgh off for the Canberra Raiders, and coming onto the field is Englishman Morgan Smithies as Papali'i's on his back. Tackled 24 out from the Melbourne line, centre field by Alec McDonald. Played to Starling, goes left to Sanders. A delayed pass on the ground, scooped up by Strange, but that was poor from the Young halfback. Strange tackled 20 out, played on the last tackle, and Young drifts to the right and into the defence. Flick pass out the back to Kyo Weeks. Sip and chase from Kyo. Failongo's back there, he's got it in goal. The road runner zipped it. No, taken in the in-goal area, goal line dropout. That was a great chase and tackle. Noah Martin, goal line dropout. Melbourne 4 left in the half. Melbourne 16, Canberra 12. Allenton.
Yeah, really great work there, and by Failongo as well, because he positioned it beautifully. Kyo Weeks just got him out of position, but his speed, he just picked it up and raced across. But Noah Martin was there. They go the short little dropout here now. The Melbourne Storm, they do.
From Munster, no, they don't. Well, unless you're trying to kick it 80 metres, and it is short. And it goes 55 metres, and Canberra don't want to pick it up. Finally, Sanders does, gives it right to Josh Papali'i, and he's tackled only 2 metres in Melbourne territory. Great result from the Cam Munster line dropout. All of the Raiders felt like you did, Tungy, that was heading for a short one. There's now Canberra 11 metres in Melbourne territory. The ball played by Smithies to Starling. Holds it up, goes to the right. Sanders away to Martin. He's wrapped up 30 metres out from the Melbourne line. Crowd making plenty of noise with 3 minutes to go in the half. Strange chip and chase. Flying through Kyo Weeks. Oh, he got a body to it. Off his knee. Can he ground it? I don't know. There was a bounce. Did he get it down? The referee's not sure. We're going to the bunker. It teased him.
No try.
But Kyo Weeks, I don't think, believes he scored.
Called for interference in the contest, and then whether he actually grounds the ball hit in the end.
Okay, so we're checking touch shot with source. 2 minutes 52 left in the half. But Kyo Weeks not expressing...
Chase and cleared is on the side.
Not expressing
from both players now.
the body language of someone who scored a freak try.
Yeah, great little positioning there. I don't know who it was that called it. Kyo Weeks, does he knock it on this first time around? I'm not sure.
Is he tackled without the ball? That
Both
contact...
players are going back towards the ball now. Need to see the actions of Harry Grant doesn't hold back KO Weeks.
Could be a penalty try.
Oh, you can't give that a try.
Oh, I don't know if he touches it in that first instant.
If he hasn't touched it, it's the very least, a sin bidding and a professional foul.
The way that the ball's bouncing so fast and away from him there.
Because initially here, when Weeks reaches for it, it's just shoulder to shoulder.
Both players are going shoulder to shoulder towards the ball. KO Weeks then knocks the ball on.
Just a fingertip
Decision made.
So it's a knock on. Melbourne will get the scrum feed, 10 out for their own line if they stop with their huddle in the in-goal area at the moment. 16-12 Melbourne leads, and John Gibbs, they got that right. It was a very near thing, however.
Yeah, it was. It was a knock on. It was very, very close to... He tried to pull away, actually. He knew that it was out of reach, and his fingers just got the ball just. And I don't know. I would have liked to see whether it grounded. I think he did ground it, but he knew. He wasn't that emphatic, was he? He knew that he touched it, so it was going to be a give up.
Yeah, no, the way he expressed himself to his teammates, he knew. I'm with you. I want to see the finished product here, because the ball bounced off his fingertips to his legs.
Yeah. Close.
Well, the Harlem Globetrotters are in Sydney, I think, at the moment, so it could have been a Harlem Globetrotter style trick. Did he dribble it or did he ground it? Melbourne wins the scrum. And it comes right to Mini. Caught 13 out from his own line. Isn't this a huge 3 minutes right here? Played to Grant. He sends the ball centre field right. The tackle made on Clark. 21 out from his own goal line. Melbourne trailed 12-0. Now leading 16-12. As here's a right foot step coming from McDonald. He's picked up and driven back. About 22 out from his own line. In fact, that might be Wishart playing the ball out there now for Melbourne. Storm get to their own 30-metre line. Good heavy defence coming that time from Smithies and Young. Plays it to Munster. He sends the ball centre field left as Melbourne get to it in on 10 metres of halfway. Held is the call. And then he walked off the mark. Plays the ball now, Liero to Grant. Goes right to Hughes from just inside the 40. Endover end kick down to the left wing of Chris. Takes it 22 out from his own goal line. Heads up over the 30. Good strong carry from Chris. He's played a bit of fullback in his day. He's caught here 12 short of halfway, and a Melbourne defender down in back play. Howard. It's now Canberra up to the halfway stripe. Trailing 16-12. A minute 45 left in the half. Left to right they go. Away to Kyo Weeks. Right foot step beats one. Now Grant brings him down. 9 metres in Melbourne territory. Starling awaits. He'll go centre field left to the player coming through for the Canberra Raiders, Smithies. He's scored 30 metres out. Right in centre field, southern end. Starling dummy half. Goes right to Sanders. Plays out the back to Strange. Short ball Martin. Beautifully read in defence. And he's put to the ground there by Wateri. About 14 out from the line. Last tackle. Sanders across field. Left foot kick. No one really charging onto it. It's caught by Canberra. Back the pass comes. Hudson Young gets it away. A little chip and chase there by Timacor. It's Stacks on the mill. Diving on it is Will Warbrick. 4 out from his own line. 5 in from the touchline in the southeast corner. And much ado about nothing in the end. Melbourne 16, Canberra 12, 50 seconds left.
They just needed a little bit more, didn't they? They needed more on the kick there from Sanders just to get it into a try-scoring position. The ball came back, but just couldn't get that second kick away, and the Melbourne Storm defence just holds on.
Yeah, huge for Melbourne to hold on there as Munster plays it. Comes left side now, and Meany's going to be caught 22 out from his own goal line. What a half. Can't wait to hear you and Gibbsy try to sum it up in a minute or two. Munster goes right to Hughes. Then he links up with Supporter. Right foot step comes from Chan. Wrapped up 27 out from his own line. Played on the last. Running with the ball is Hughes. Out the back to Failongo. He's going to be tackled a metre his own side of halfway. Changeover. 10 seconds to go in the half. Could this be a 40-metre two-point field goal?
Try something.
Well, they picked up the ball from dummy half, and Hudson Young's just walked. I don't understand what was going on there. It's like Hudson Young didn't want a bar of it. So it is half-time, and Melbourne goes in with the lead. 16-12 over the Canberra Raiders. The Raiders fans are booing. I assume that's for the officials, but it may be for the defence. I'm not sure. But they seem to have rectified it after a lapse for 10 or 12 minutes. Melbourne 16 points. Tries to Suafai Longo in the 12th minute. Will Warbrick in the 16th. And Nick Meany in the 26th. Meany 2 goals from 3 attempts. 2 restarts for Melbourne. For Canberra, tries to Simi Sasangi in the 6th. Corey Horsburgh in the 9th. And 2 out of 2 for Ethan Sanders, though, off to the best imaginable start. 3 restarts for Canberra. The penalties are 2-1 to the Raiders. But the scoreline to Melbourne Allen Tongue 16-12. And they deserve plenty of credit because they looked down, if not close to being out early on.
Yeah, absolutely. The first 10 minutes, as you just mentioned there, Andrew, the Raiders really look good. I spoke about in the pre-game, we spoke about what about this Raiders side? Where's that inconsistency and those compounding errors? Well, they got off to that 12 points to the lead, and then all of a sudden, Corey Horsburgh, while we got the football in hand, gets up to play the ball, gives that referee an earful, gets a penalty against them. They score in the corner. The next set of 6, great work from the Melbourne Storm, kick long, and error by Jed Stewart down that end. All of a sudden, the whole momentum shifted. 3 tries to the Melbourne Storm to finish off and in front. But I tell you, the Melbourne Storm, yes, they were off early, but they just found their rhythm. That gritty defence, the kicking long, the kick chase, the numbers in tackles, all those things that are renowned with the Melbourne Storm, they got back to those. So there were some really good signs there to finish that first half.
Yeah, considering they wouldn't have much confidence, having lost 4 in a row, down 12-0 in the blink of an eye, they've shown a bit of character here in this half hour.
Yeah, they did. There's no doubt about that, Andrew, but they were also given an opportunity to show that character because Canberra, I mean, they threw Corey Horsburgh. I don't necessarily think that he said too much, but they wouldn't let him play the ball. He played the ball. He didn't get 6 again, so he's obviously given a little piece to, he mustn't know that it's pernickety Peter Goff, so just shut your mouth, you get up and you play the ball. Anyway, that gave them the opportunity, and then both right-hand side, left-hand side, attacking-wise, and obviously defensively for Canberra, they looked so threadbare. There was a drop ball by Jed Stewart who took a good catch, getting up to play the ball, lost the ball. I thought they might have challenged that one, but they didn't, and as a result, they scored a couple of easy tries. I must say, as you alluded to, Andrew, the defence late in that first half was much improved from Canberra. Now, just on half-time, as you boys were discussing that first half, there was a long dissertation between both captains, Joe Tarpany, Harry Grant and Peter Goff. And Harry Grant was having most to say and Joe Tarpany was waving his arms. So, obviously, they're not happy. But that comes with pressure, and the pressure that they had to the start of the year. Canberra were minor premiers last year. They could have won. We saw what happened. They crumbled at the end of the year, and Melbourne were in the grand final, and they're on the cusp of losing 5 in a row. So everyone's under pressure.
So it is half-time, 16-12 in favour of Melbourne. On the text line, fellas, amazing calling like usual. I'll be mind-blown if Hudson Young won't be the first pick for New South Wales this year. He's been by far the best edge back rower. I agree, 100%, Ruben. Andrew, can you please find another way to say wins the scrum? I can't, I'm sorry. But a shout out to you, Ros Nitty from French's Forest, who had go Manly. Happy Friday Rugby League. Andrew, John and Alan enjoying the call at home after a few quiet ones at the Wilsonton Hotel, which I overheard the unofficial mayor of the pub telling some bloke that Guppo was being traded for Jareem Buller on a huge money deal. Any truth to this? From Ash the Tyler at Toowoomba. I can't imagine that would be true. By any stretch of the imagination. Maybe the unofficial mayor's had a couple of quiet sherbets, I'm not too sure. All right, we'll take a break and go to the ABC newsroom, then we'll set the scene for Dolphins and Penrith. NRL Thursday here on ABC Sport. Melbourne 16 leading Canberra 12.
ABC News with Melanie Scott. The ceasefire between Israel and Lebanon appears to be largely holding despite some alleged breaches. Francis Du reports.
The Hezbollah militant group has indicated it will stick to the truce, but also says Israel's ongoing occupation in southern Lebanon gives the Lebanese the right to resist. Hezbollah continued to fire rockets at northern Israel until just before midnight local time, when the ceasefire came into effect. There are also claims too that Israeli shelling of Lebanese villages continued for half an hour afterwards. Israel's defense force has not responded to the claims. US President Donald Trump has called it a historic day and says the truce could help pave the way for a broader deal to end the war with Iran.
Meanwhile, people in Lebanon remain in limbo as the 10-day ceasefire between Iran-backed militant group Hezbollah and Israel is tested. The truce came into effect today after weeks of fighting, and Lebanon has since accused Israel of breaching it. Director of the Save the Children in Lebanon, Nora Ingdal, says a large part of the population is waiting to see if it's safe to return home.
I think the critical thing here is, will people be able to return to their homes? Because remember that 20% of the population in Lebanon are displaced, 1.2 million. So people are desperate to go back to their homes.
The Prime Minister of the Solomon Islands says the Pacific has invoked an emergency declaration in the face of rising uncertainties about fuel supply. Here's Foreign Affairs reporter Stephen Dedgetts.
The Pacific remains heavily reliant on diesel, and while current stocks are holding, there's deep worry about whether supply will continue in the second half of the year. Prime Minister Jeremiah Manele, who's also the current chair of the Pacific Islands Forum, says Pacific leaders have now invoked the Bikitawa Declaration, which has previously been triggered for the COVID crisis and Australia's intervention in the Solomon Islands. He says the region needs a plan to ensure that fuel keeps flowing, but it's not clear if other Pacific leaders have yet endorsed the declaration.
A significant emergency response continues in Victoria's north after a truck veered across the Hume Highway. Kate Ashton has more.
5 people, including 2 children, have been taken to hospital following a crash on the Hume Freeway south of Violet Town, which happened at about 1:30 this afternoon. Aerial vision of the incident suggests a B-double truck veered across the 4-lane freeway before tipping and crashing into an embankment off the road. A multi-agency emergency response is underway, with 6 CFA units currently on the scene. The full extent of injuries is not yet known. A warning has been issued for a hazardous liquid spill near the scene.
The federal government has been urged by its own National Disability Insurance Scheme advisory group to delay the rollout of a controversial new system to allocate funding and support plans to participants by 3 months. More from National Disability Affairs reporter Naz Campanella.
The NDIS Reform Advisory Committee is a group of disability representatives from across the country to advise the government on implementing landmark reforms to the scheme. Minutes from the group's March meeting published today show the committee advised the move to the new planning system known as ICANN should not commence before October 1st. The group says the delay would allow sufficient time for development, testing and meaningful consultation. The NDIS Minister Jenny McAllister said the government respects the Reform Advisory Committee's role and will consider the advice it provides.
The Weather Bureau is urging people in the south of WA to prepare for a series of cold fronts which could bring rain and strong winds. The fronts, forecast to arrive tonight, Monday night and early on Thursday, are expected to impact the southwest and possibly the Perth metropolitan area. The Bureau's senior forecaster, Gianni Colangelo, says the first fronts of the year are often the most damaging.
Now, while we're not expecting these fronts to be particularly extreme, we do tend to notice that even moderate to strong cold fronts early in the season, especially the first few of the season, tend to cause disproportionately more damage and disruption.
A Perth man who allegedly stated support for the Bondi shooters has been refused bail for a second time. Martin Thomas Glenn is facing 5 charges, including conduct intended to racially harass, failing to store a firearm in a compliant storage, and possessing a prohibited weapon. The 39-year-old appeared in Fremantle Magistrates Court via video link. The magistrate refused bail and suggested any further application should go to the Supreme Court. This is ABC News.
There's no doubt that country music is bigger than ever right now. Join me, Outback Tom, as I get you around the artists that are blazing a trail. Listen to Country Club, Sunday night at 6 on ABC Country or anytime you like on the ABC Listen app.
ABC sports coverage of the 2026 NRL Premiership.
To the right, Sanders to Strange, then away through hands it goes, making half a break with a one-handed pass away to Semi Sasangi for the try. That was brilliantly done by Ethan Strange, and it's a try to Semi Sasangi. Up they go, the ball tapped back for Canberra, and it's with Hawes for 6 more tackles. Ball touched in flight by Melbourne, and Horsburgh got it down. He couldn't. He did. Big red. 10-0 Canberra. Played to Grant. Drift to the right to Hughes. Then out the back to Failongo. Right foot step pass. One over. See ya, Failongo.
Oh, he's quick.
See you later. Peter got points to the spot. Now to the right, Jerome Hughes. Dummies. Got a pass away to Will Warbrick. He's over untouched. He timed that to perfection, Jerome Hughes. And Canberra give the platter to Melbourne, and Melbourne gobble it up. Grant goes right to Hughes. He gets straight past 1. Hughes still going. Past 2, 3. Drag to the round. Gets up, goes again. Offloads to his right. They switch it back to the left. And Grant away to Munster to Failongo. Then through hands with Teddy. Links up with Meany, and he's over in the corner. What a try. What an effort by Jerome Hughes.
ABC sports coverage of the 2026 NRL Premiership.
On your radio, ABC Sport Digital Radio
and ABC Listen.
anyone's game at half-time. NRL Friday on ABC Sports, 16-12, Melbourne leading Canberra. Next in Darwin, it's the Dolphins taking on Penrith. What an intriguing matchup. Quentin Hull will call the action with Billy Moore and Clinton Chafosky. G'day again, Q.
Well, Andrew, we've got to start with the conditions. Currently still 28 degrees in Darwin. Feels like 33.9 degrees. Humidity, 86%. And there is a mass of rain that is heading the way of the Northern Territory capital, coming in from the east. I think it's going to hit us maybe late first half, if not earlier than that, or it's going to hit us at some point. So the conditions are going to be oppressive for the Dolphins in the first of their 3-year deal with the Northern Territory government, basically taking over that Parramatta deal to take an NRL game to Darwin each year. The Panthers, of course, going down for the first time in 2026 last week to Canterbury Bankstown. The Finns had the week off, and not a great time to have a week off when you've got to contemplate your last start, which was a 52-18 hiding at your spiritual home Dolphin Oval at the hands of Manly Warringah. So the Finns are 2-3, and for a team that was expected to contend this year, they've got to get going. And the Panthers, as we know, have made a great start to the season, but Penrith tonight will be without Casey McLean due to suspension and Liam Martin with a knee injury. It allows Isaac Tonga to return to first grade for the first time this year. It'll be his 100th game of the NRL as well. And from the Finns' perspective, Francis Molo, who was named on the bench, is actually going to start in the front row, and Felice Kafusi is now one of the 6 possibles from the bench for Christian Wolf's team. Great to be alongside Billy Moore for the call. You ready to lose a few kilos? Feels like 33 degrees and 86% humidity.
Yeah.
Welcome to the top end.
G'day, Quentin. Hello to our wonderful listeners. Yeah, oppressive understatement. Big game for the Finns. As you said, they had to lick their wounds last week, rested off back-to-back losses. And obviously, the last time they played, they were towed up by the Seagulls, completed at 38%. It was the awakening of the Seagulls, but it dimmed the lights in Finnville a little bit, actually, that game. So, up against the Panthers, who have been the pace setters, but 2026 is a strange year so far. So, going into a game as favourites sometimes can be a disadvantage this season. So, the Panthers, if it does rain, you think the wet weather might favour them, that way they grind the way through the game. But there is so much strike inside this Dolphins team that anything's possible, Q.
Yeah, and having just come from Townsville, where last night it wasn't as hot, but it was just as humid. I just hope that we don't get the dropsy fest that I saw in Townsville last night. Adam G's going to be the referee. Chris Butler is in the bunker. So just repeating that. Starting change for the Finns. Frank Molo goes into the starting pack, so Felice Kafusi off to the bench. It's going to be very hot and very wet for footy in Darwin once you guys are done in Canberra.
Well, you said, Q, it feels like 33 in Darwin. It feels like about 4 here. So it's quite the difference.
A rather large gap between your feels like and our feels like.
It might be the biggest gap all year. So Melbourne to kick off here for the second half, leading Canberra 16-12. Yeah, that game is to come with Q, Billy and Clinton Chafosky. And here it's Melbourne to kick off second half. You with Alan Tung, John Gibbs. I'm Andrew Moore. NRL Friday. I think I thought it was Thursday there a couple of times, Tungy. Not calling a game on Thursday night's thrown me, obviously, my poor simple little head. Here's the kick-off by Suafalongo. Concerns after he scored a try with his ankle, and even now after kicking off it looks like he's
still hobbling a touch.
Very much so, but when he gets the ball in hand he runs at 48,000 k an hour from the kick-off. And the Raiders have a 12 out from their own line. It's played, goes right to Papali'i, and Josh is caught about 15 metres out from his own goal line by Bloor and Grant. Plays the ball to Starling, short ball right to Noah Martin, and this very talented second row is caught 24 out from his own line. Starling checks the ball away, centre field left. Canberra 32 out from their own line. Hosking plays it to Starling, goes left to Hudson Young. He threatened several times in that first half to make another dominant display for Canberra. Played on the last. Starling goes right to left. Sanders, left foot end over end kick. Farlongo's under it. 16 out from his own line. Passed it away left to Warbrick and then hobbled around before Warbrick scored 27 out from his own goal line. 16 16-12 Melbourne. 1 minute gone second half. Played to Hughes. He sends it open side left here for Melbourne. Taking the tackle, Mini. 34 ounces.
He's in trouble there too, Andrew.
Well, he's down in back play with the Melbourne attacking team. As now Melbourne spread it right to Howarth. He's caught 7 short of halfway. 20th from touch on the western side. Dummy half Grant. Open side left to Joe Chan. And Joey's going to be tackled on halfway. And Papali'i is limping from the field. He can't put weight on his left leg. We'll get an update on that shortly. Grant goes right to Hughes. He steps straight through. Sanders still going. Hughes over the 30, the 20. Drag down from behind. 9 metres out. Last play Melbourne. Grant dummy half. Goes left to Munster. Pumps it away. Intercepted Sasangi. He's over the 20, the 30. Chan in pursuit. Over halfway the 40. Over the 30. Steps in field. Chan knocked him down. What a chase by the back rower. Finished off by Watedi. It's played now to Jed Stewart. Goes from dummy half. He's gone the wrong way. He's caught 8 metres out, but it is a set restart here for the Canberra Raiders. It's played and they work it short side right. Bumping run by Hudson Young. Got away from Meany. Now held up by Blore. What a chance here for Canberra after Jerome Hughes exploded through them. Down at the other end now, Smithies. He's tackled centre field, 12 metres out from the goal line. Plays the ball to Starling. Short pass away left. Canberra now only 8 metres out from the line. Starling awaits. He's a dummy half. Played by Mariotta. Comes to the right. Sanders away to Strange. Ran behind his own player and he's frustrated. He has to take a knee. Martin ran in front of him. So Strange will play at 9 out on the last. Comes right to left. Sanders from 12 metres out. Crossfield kick for Sebastian Kress. It's tapped back to Kyo Weeks. He runs around in circles. Gave the pass away to Hudson Young. He could do anything here. Puts in a stab kick. Far long field and runs a touch and goal. He had no choice. Brilliant finish by Young. So a goal line dropout for Melbourne as Harry Grant gesticulates to referee Peter Goff. 3 gone second half. Melbourne 16, Canberra 12. Run through all that happened there, Tucky.
It's what a crazy start of their second half. It looked like Melbourne were going to score down one end of the field, and then all of a sudden they shift the ball. Looked like they were going to score for all money. They had them at 6s and 7s on the outside. Then all of a sudden the Simi Sasangi intercept gets them down the other end of the field. Now repeat set of 6 and a long dropout here
from Munster. Taken by Sanders. I'm more aware of this one. He goes right to Adam Mariotta. He's over the 40. I know Gibbsy's been checking on Papali'i. He'll get down to intersect John T, but Canberra's 31 metres out, trailing 16-12. Ball played Starling. Goes right to Smithies up the middle. Morgan Smithies. Chan is there with a couple of other defenders for Melbourne, including Jack Hetherington, who's on the field. Now Starling goes left. Kyo Weeks. Pass away Hudson Young. He gets a two-handed ball away to Starling, and then back to the right it goes. Heavy defence now, and offload back to Hudson Young. He dummies his way into the defence. McDonald holds him up there with Grant 8 metres away. Starling sends the ball right. Smithies to Sanders. Then he got the pass away to Sasangi. Pass 1-2. Then he throws the pass. What an incredible try for Strange. Simi Sasangi. Simply the best. Great effort by Sasangi. Strange finishes it off. And now it's 16 all here at Canberra Stadium. 4 minutes 30 gone second half. Amazing skills by Canberra's new right centre.
That was freakish. That's the only way that you can talk about that play from Simi Sasangi. First, it's the footwork and the strength to get through, but then he had no right at all to get that pass away. It was unbelievable. He passes that on and scores in the corner there. Strange. Some really nice lead-up work done. Ball movement from the inside men there. Simi Sasangi off the right foot a couple of times, and then the pass on the outside to Strange. Great vision and skill to be able to do that. Balance from Simi Sasangi is unreal.
The second half is off to a cracking start. Gibbsy, lots to report down on the touchline.
First and foremost, Josh Papali'i has done his calf muscle, so that's a problem. He knew straight away, so he's out of the game. He's already got it iced up, and that is something that can be set players, in the Josh Papali'i age. That's what happens. It just went pop, and he was in trouble. Simi Sasangi, when he took the intercept, he would have been. He was offside, and they were pointing at all the Melbourne players. He had the good sense, I reckon, to slow down and kept the ball. Otherwise, they would have lost it, and it would have been a penalty to Melbourne.
Here's Sanders 22 out, 2 or 3 in from the eastern touchline to put Canberra back in front. Sanders strikes it, heading towards the post, off the upright, bounces back, no goal. So he's 2 out of 3. Nick Meaney is 2 out of 3 for Melbourne. We are locked at 16s. NRL Friday on ABC Sport. 6 minutes gone, second half. So unfortunately the calf went pop for Papa and he's off the field, and those calves, especially a bit later in your career, can be really troublesome.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a big calf there too to pop, so big Papa. But yeah, that is a real concern there. He brings so much over the last couple of weeks there, coming off the interchange bench, but brings that momentum. So a big job here for Morgan Smithies, those guys, and Corey Horsburgh in through the middle there to keep that momentum going.
On the text line as the kickoff is taken and the Raiders bring it back over their 10. Let's go Canberra. Come on Raiders. Go Storm, says David Nowra. 0467 920 222. 48,000 kilometres. That's fast. Sure is. Evening, boys. Andrew, before the news, did you say Thursday football? Asked Louise. I think I did. Not calling last night has thrown me.
They're just looking here for whether it's a crusher tackle here. Morgan Smithies, I think it is the man.
He's stretching his back as he gets to his feet. I know that feeling. There's now Canberra. Send it left. Up the middle goes Sasangi again. Where's this bloke been? Semi Sasangi, out of position at centre, has been absolutely phenomenal. Now it's Hosking. He's on his back, 22 out from his own line. Canberra 16, Melbourne 16. Now they work at left side. Mariota G's been running the ball hard. He's tackled here 33 out from his own line by Hughes and Joe Chan. Played to Starling. Comes to the right, through hands. Hosking got the ball set afield to Smithies. Wrapped up 8 short of halfway. Played on the last quickly to Starling. Nearly too quickly. Goes left to Sanders the kick. 6 short of halfway. Floated down to Failongo. Frisk back, catches it on the full and then accelerates. Where's that ankle injury? He's really blistering attack into the defensive chase of Strange. Caught 26 out from his own line. Now he gets up and looks like he's, if he's a horse, he may not see the day out. Comes left now to Joey Chan. He's wrapped up 2 short of halfway. Now he jogs to the left Failongo to join the back line. It's played to Grant. Long pass goes left to Munster, then to Failongo. He accelerates, but he's knocked to the ground over the top by Strange. Also in there was Sasangi, 9 metres in Canberra's half. They work it open side right to Sean Bloor, and Bloor's contained. 33 out from the Canberra line. Last tackle Melbourne. 20 in from touch eastern side. Grant goes right to Hughes. Up she goes. It's going to come down about 10 metres out, and it's caught by Jed Stewart. He's wrapped up 10 out from his own line. 7 minutes 40 gone second half. 16 all the score.
Yeah, this is where the Raiders need to put a bit of shape around the football. Melbourne Storm, they pride themselves on getting numbers in the tackle. The Raiders just running one out are really doing it tough to get out of their own end.
So now it comes left to Timacor. Wrapped up 22 out from his own line, but he got a 2-hander pass in the tackle to Weeks. He sends it left to Chris. He's past Hughes. Hughes comes back at him. Great tackle. 6 metres in Melbourne territory. 5 in from the western touchline. Chris plays the ball to Young. Sends it to the right. Sanders away midfield to Hosking. Wrapped up 8 metres in Melbourne territory. Get up, says referee Peter Goff. He plays the ball to Starling. Goes to the right, Sanders. Short ball, Martin. Right foot step, and Noah Martin's tackled. 34 out for the Melbourne line. Played on the last. Starling goes right. Sanders the kick. Left footer. Chases on. Failongo has the catch. He's caught instantly by Strange. 5 out from his own line. 16 all the score. Touchline we go. Johnny Gibbs.
Well, it's turning into a good match now. It's at the 8 minutes of this second half, or 9 minutes or thereabouts, has been excellent. And the defence from the last 10 minutes of that first half has been much improved from Canberra. And now Melbourne, like Canberra were a few moments ago, struggling to get out of their own end.
Josh King back on the field for Melbourne. Their 4th interchange. Here's Warbrick centre field. He's caught 25 out from his own line. Plays the ball quickly to Grant. Goes right to King. And Josh King's caught 14 short of halfway for Melbourne. Last tackle Storm. Grant goes right to Hughes. Runs it up over the 40. Steps. He can't be tackled. Got up to go again. Offloaded to Chan. He throws a basketball pass. Surely that's all gone forward. It has. Changeover. Canberra will get the ball back. 5 short of halfway. Canberra and Melbourne 16 all. 9 minutes 30 gone second half. And that might have been a rare mental error from Jerome Hughes.
Yeah, that's right. He usually would, back the percentage play and kick long, but there was a little bit of space there with the numbers, but they scrambled really, really well, and that last little pass just didn't stick. It's one of those times where you just back that percentage play and kick long, but on this occasion, the Raiders starting some really good field position.
So from the restart, it is Timmy-Cork, tackled on halfway by King. Played to Starling. Long ball goes right, Strange to Martin. And Munster's there with Bloor. They hold him up in the tackle. 1 or 2 metres in Melbourne territory. Starling, he attacks the short side right. Through hand, Strange away. Sasangi, right foot step, dangerous again. Dragged to the ground though by Mini. 22 out right in front of the Greg and Larkham stand on that eastern side. They work it right to left. Through hands away to Kyo Weeks. He got straight past Watiti. Links up now with Timokor. Oh, through far long. Oh, close. Tried to get it down just short. Oh, wouldn't he have loved that in his return? Desperate defence from Warbrick. Plays the ball. Hudson Young goes right. Sanders to Starling to Martin. Wushka. He ran into the defence coming in off the wing. That was great work by Wateri. 5 out from the goal line. Play now Starling. Goes left. Hosking. Sanders. Then away Timokor for the line. He is over. He does get a try. And Canberra's back in front. Canberra fans on their feet. Canberra 20, Melbourne 16 as the Raiders regain some control here. 11 minutes gone, second half, to try to match Timokor in his return to the NRL.
I tell you, it's really good footy all round. Some defence by the Melbourne Storm, who are getting pulled apart. There's some good shape from the Canberra Raiders, but coming up with some big plays. It was Waitiri who came in and put a great shot on Noah Martin. Really rattled him. He done well to hold on to the football, but they related the shape, came back to that left-hand side. And Timokor, who's been a handful, yes, he's had some defensive deficiencies. With the ball in hand, he's been really strong here tonight. They get it out wide, good lead-up work. Eaton, Strange and Sanders heavily involved, which is good for the Raiders.
Touchline, John Gibbs.
Well, that's good to run on the last play. Brilliant work there, and he was just too quick for them, and he charged to the line. He wasn't going to be stopped. He got stopped the first time, but you can put that try down to the good defence. Canberra all of a sudden realised, well, if we want to be a force again this year and win football games, we've got to tackle. Well, that's what they've done. The emergence as a top quality centre of Simi Sasangi has been amazing, Andrew. He only transitioned there towards the latter part of last year. He was a left edge forward or an interchange player. Now he is an elite centre.
Here's Sanders, Gibbsy, 23 out, 4 in from the western touchline. What a seesawing game this is. Here's Sanders with the left boot. He strikes it, heading towards the post. He likes it. He's kicked the goal. He's third from 4 attempts. Canberra by converted try. Canberra 22, Melbourne 16. And there's still 27 minutes and 44 seconds to play. On the text line, 0467 920 222. I don't know about you, Andrew, but I'm on the brink with Simi Sasangi and I'm about to spill over. I've spilt over. I love him. The 6 p.m. game is always good value on the ABC. I also like the 6:15 game on a Sunday. Good listening while cooking dinner from Rowdy Andy. Ben says we're renaming it the Simi Sasangi stand. Oh, the Greg and Larkham stand. Well, why not? And he's down that right side at the moment, the eastern side, playing at right centre. But his performances are unbelievably good. Now it's Chris with the kick-off return that was caught by Stewart. He's caught 13 out from his own line. 22 points to 16 to Canberra. And Melbourne have to turn this around or it will be a 5th straight loss. But the way this game has gone, you'd expect them to not only score next, but dominate the next 10 minutes. Canberra, 28 out from its own goal line. Ball played 20 in from the western touchline to Starling by Young. He sends it right to Smith. He's caught 14 metres short of halfway. Caught there by McDonald. Comes left Sanders. Dips a kick in from inside his 40 straight to Fa'alonga on the Melbourne 20. He, with a skip, a hop and a jump, ends up falling down. 28 out from his own line. I hope he's all right. That was a bit of a face plant. To his feet. Plays the ball. It goes left. And now the footy is Mini. Tackled 32 out from his own line. Melbourne with it. Suddenly down 22 to 16, having led 16-12 at half time. He's the hit up now for Melbourne to within 10 metres of halfway. Rolling around with Teddy. He plays it. They scoot it away to the right. Hughes turns it into Joe Chan. He aims up there into Tarpany. 3 metres short of halfway. Grant awaits. He'll get it away. Centre field left Liero. Then away to Munster. Back to Fa'alongo. Storm's headgear. Dragged to the ground desperately from behind by Strange. What a tackle. 32 out. Now he's limping again. Fa'alongo plays it. It comes right to Munster. Up and under time. Weeks doesn't want a bar of it. No one does. But the ball bounces to Kyo Weeks. 12 out from his own line. He sends the pass away left to Hudson Young. Oh, what a flick pass to Sebastian Chris. He's over the 30, the 40. Spins away from Grandin Hughes. Gets away from Liero. Dragged down 6 metres in Melbourne territory. Played to Weeks. Goes to the right. Sanders. Then away through hands it goes now with Jet Stewart. Tackled 37 away. This is breathtaking footy at the moment. Dummy half, Sasangi runs away from his grandstand, links up on the left edge this time with Young. He scored 29 out for the Melbourne line, 20 in from touch, western side. Play to Starling goes right, Sanders turns it in for Tarpany. He flicks it out the back in the tackle to Starling, who whips it away left to right to Noah Martin. He bounces away from Munster, now caught by Bloor, 27 metres away. Canberra with it, leading 22 to 16. Chip over the top by Sanders. Sasangi chasing, hit the deck, ball over the dead ball line. Referee Goff says penalty Canberra. Sasangi taken out of it. 15 gone second half. Canberra 22, Melbourne 16. Alan Tung, this is incredible.
Yeah, it's amazing. Great energy here at the moment. The crowd, they're getting into it here as well. But it's been obviously some coaching there throughout the week. Just seeing Fa'alongo up in the line there a little bit. They've tried that early kick on a couple of occasions. Yes, it hasn't come off. It was strange in the first half, a little bit too short. But on this one, they'll get the footy back. They're going to take the 2 for you, Jonty.
They're going to try to. Anyway, Gibbsy, about 10 in from touch on the eastern side.
Well, he's been striking them beautifully. He's only missed one, and that was the one that hit the upright. But I love the counter-attack there. The tackle from Ethan Strange on Fa'alongo was a beauty, and that's why it took a long time to get to his feet. He was limping badly because it was an ankles tackle. So it snapped his ankle. His poor ankle is going to be black and blue and swollen at the end of this game. But when Kyo Weeks got the ball, he saw Hudson Young unmarked, and he combined with Sebastian Chris for a really good raid.
This play in the second half has been incredible. So here's Sanders. 17 out at about 15 in from the far or eastern touchline. 16 gone second half. Canberra 22, Melbourne 16. Sanders. In he moves with the left boot. Strikes it, likes it, kicks the goal again. He's 4 out of 5. Canberra by 8. And that lead does seem significant. 24-16 over Melbourne. You're with Alan Tung, John Gibbs. I'm Andrew Moore, and NRL Friday. Nearly did it again, Tung.
Yeah. Tell you a little bit about Simi Sasangi. He came to the club 3 years ago from the Newcastle Knights. He spent 3 seasons there, handful of games, played a lot of his junior footy in the halves. So he's got some really good skills. But it wasn't until really the start of last year he really got himself fit. He came down here and trained like an elite athlete. You see him with his shirt off. He looks like he's cut out of stone. He has really put a lot of time into getting his body right, and it is showing.
Exactly how I feel when Gibbsy gets his shirt off. Here's Canberra from the restart. 17 out from their own line. No, mate, kidding, Jonty. Keep the long johns on, mate. Around the grounds, AFL underway for the evening. Western Bulldogs leading Geelong 1-0. And in the Super Rugby, Auckland 47 defeated Otago 40. Of course, later in the AFL, getting underway in about 25 minutes or so, the SCG Swans v Giants. So here's the Raiders now, 31 out from their own line. Tarpany plays it to Starling. He sends it right to Smithies. He's caught 8 short of halfway, centre field. It's Canberra taking control of this game with a 24-16 lead. Now it's Mariota. I love the way he runs, Mariota. He's so, just everything's at full speed. Quarter metre in Melbourne territory. Played on the last. Sanders the kick. He's having himself a nice night, Ethan Sanders, under a war brick. Catches a 12 out from his own line. Hudson Young, though, said you're not getting away from me. He swings him around like he's on a ride. And he'll play 10 out from his own line to Hughes. Goes left away to Howarth. And he's monstered to the deck, 11 out from his own line. This is also our team attacks Alan Tongue through their defence, which is what Canberra's doing.
And he's done it a couple times, hasn't he, tonight, Hudson Young? He has led that. He's turned the momentum through his energy and especially in his kick chase.
Here's Melbourne with the footy now. And Wetteri got away from Mariota into Ethan Strange. 28 out from his own line. Returning to the field for Melbourne is the second rower, Cooper Clark. And it's another interchange for the Storm. And Clark coming off right down in that far corner of the ground. Here's Hughes on the last from inside his 40. Floats a kick down. Oh, Chris dropped it. He's been so good on the left wing, and that is an absolute nightmare. So it's going to be a Melbourne scrum feed. 22 out from the Canberra line, and Tungy, the Raiders keep doing this.
We said it at the start of the game, wasn't it? They just seem to get a hold of the game. They've got it by the scruff of the neck, and then they just let the opposition back in.
Are they allergic to winning comfortably or something? Or this is their fun?
Well, Ricky Stewart, he nearly kicked the chair on his way to the dugout on that occasion, but he just didn't look comfortable right from the word go. There was a little bit of a miss kick, I think, there from Jerome Hughes, and he never looked confident at all, said Chris.
So the scrum to be fed here by Jack Howarth, won by Melbourne, comes to the right to Fa'alongo, right foot step, left foot step, taken by Timacor, 10 out from the Canberra line and 5 in from the Western touch line, so Canberra presents Melbourne a chance to get right back in it. They work it left to Joey Chan, he accelerates over the 10, caught 7 metres out from the Canberra line. 24-16, Raiders in front, but here comes the Storm. Grant goes left to Hughes, floats a pass to Munster, turns it back on the inside to Cooper Clark, and this big second row is caught by Martin, 9 metres out. Two great young talents in going head-to-head there. Now Grant to the right, Munster turns around in circles, in the tackle, offloads to Hughes. Hughes accelerates, dragged to the ground by Mariota. 4 out from the goal line, 20 minutes gone, 20 minutes left, second half. Canberra by 8, Melbourne go to the left, Munster, he got the pass to King, flick pass intercepted. Who by? You know who by? The Siminator, Simi Sasangi. Canberra has it on their own 10. It's played and it goes right to Stewart, caught on the 20. Let's go to the touchline, Johnny Gibbs.
Oh, great work there. Hasn't he come on with a big play, Simi Sasangi? We've been simming his praises tonight, but that was just brilliant again. And really the defence is really good. Fa'alongo running at Timacor, I thought that was going to be dangerous, but they've handled that well. That's what they needed to do. An injury here for Bloor, is it, or one of them?
Yeah, no, it's not Bloor, it's Joey Chan who's sluggishly to his feet, but marching back onside now as Canberra 9 short of halfway on the last. Here's Sanders, the kick under some pressure from Liero, straight down the throat, however, of Meany. 15 out for the Melbourne line, heads up over the 20, then throws a long, awkward-looking pass to his right to Fa'alongo. Right foot step, he may pinch me to Smithies, then he accelerates again, caught by Sanders, 4 short of halfway. That step is so electric. Played now to Grant, short side right to Warbrick. Right foot step through, Smithies into Young, still going Warbrick. Finally dragged down 28 metres out. They're not done with yet, Melbourne. 18 minutes, 30 to go on a thriller. Canberra 24, Melbourne 16. Grant drifts all the way about 30 metres to his left. Then a short ball to Clark, went it down, a mistake, knock on.
Who made the tackle there, Andrew?
Picked up by Canberra. Do you know who it was, Alan Tongue? It was the Simmergram. He sent it straight to Melbourne. Simi Sasangi.
What a tackle.
Here's Stewart. Caught now, 22 out. Is he making life easy for you in terms of ABC Player of the Year points?
Yes, it is. Just a touch.
Now centre field left for Canberra. Sasangi has the footy. What isn't he doing? It can't be one bloke. Caught 33 out from his own line by King. Great fun to watch. Starling, he sends it right now through hands. It ends up with Noah Martin. He's wrapped up 15 short of halfway. 18 minutes to go. Then it's Penrith and the Dolphins in Darwin. They work it right to left. The Canberra Raiders through hands, Weeks. Timacor to Chris. He's straight past Warbrick. He got a pass back to Kaya Weeks. Spins away from one. Got it to Hudson. Young scored by Chan. 20 out. 5 in from the Western touchline. Still a couple of tackles left for Canberra. They've got to go right. They've got to go all the way right. Starling to Strange. Strange drifts. Sasangi. Oh, it's forward. Turn it up, referee. Diving over to score was Stewart, and I thought the Seminator had done it again. Forward pass though by Simi, and Melbourne are hanging in there, but just. They'll have a scrum feed, 15 out from from their own line. 17 minutes left. Canberra 24, Melbourne 16.
What great hands to that right-hand side. And the referee, the touchy, he just stood still. He was right on the mark there. There's not too much in it whatsoever. Oh dear, wasn't much. But the touchy, got to give him benefit of the doubt. He's right there.
Yeah, hard to argue with. Down to the touchline, John Gibbs.
I'd like to argue with it. I think
I knew you would.
No, it was fine. He was charging threw the ball back. It's floated forward. We discussed Newton's laws of physics. We won't go through that again.
I do, please.
No, but I seriously thought that was okay, and it was going to try. What about their play, though? They're playing like they did at their peak last year.
It is incredible to watch. It's really great to watch live. But for all of that, Melbourne's still in it, and what Canberra has to do is maintain the rage, as it were, as now the Storm, through Warbrick, centre field, caught 14 short of halfway. The last thing Canberra can afford to do is give Melbourne a sniff here. They're so desperate. It's Hugh Togamano, his best run of the night. Otherwise, he's been really quiet. He's caught here 2 short of halfway. Stefano plays it to Grant. Goes right to Munster, slipped as he offloaded to Hughes to Chan. Jerome Hughes has been with Fa'alongo, but far and away the most damaging Melbourne Storm players. Grant, left to Hughes, runs at the line and offloads to Munster. Out the back to Fa'alongo. He quickly got the ball away to Witeri. He's wrapped up. 24 out for the Canberra line, 8 in from the eastern touchline, played on the last tackle. It comes to the right. Hughes the kick from 21 metres out. Down to the southeast corner. Who wants this? Kaya Wicks again doesn't even bother. Bounces off Noah Martin and knocked on by Cooper Clark. Change over to Canberra, but gee, it drives me insane, Tungy, just as the league fan, seeing fullbacks like K.O. Weeks not catch the ball.
He absolutely looked like he was going to try and charge at it and jump high to give him that safety of not being able to be caught in the air. And then all of a sudden, the last minute, he just backed completely out. I tell you what, you're playing with fire on those occasions as Jaden Brayley starts to warm up and come down on the side on there. There'll be an interchange, but they dodge a bullet there.
Yeah, it's like he's got the bomb-catching yips. As now Canberra wins the scrum, and it comes left to Timacor. Wrapped up 14 out from his own line. Quarter of an hour to go. Canberra 24, Melbourne 16. Left edge to Chris. Another good strong run. Put down 27 out from his own line. Jaden Brayley in there at dummy half. Goes right Tarpany. Flick pass meant for Brayley. Goes on the deck. Was not good from Tarpany. And Brayley will have to play at 30 out from his own line. Does so now to Young. Sends the ball centre field right to Mariota. Caught 15 short of halfway. He'll play it now to Brayley, centre of the park, southern end. They work it right. Sanders to Strange. Then away to Sasangi. Tackled a metre short of halfway. 5 in from the eastern touchline. Plays the ball now on the last. Eventually, at least. Comes left to Sanders. Zach Hosking back on the field for Mariota for Canberra. Poor kick by Sanders. Straight down to Fa'alongo under no pressure. But he's put under some of the great chase by Hudson Young. Just launched himself at Fa'alongo. 24 out from the Melbourne line. Played to Hughes. Goes right. Warbrick upended. No, he got the pass away. Did well to Hughes. Jerome Hughes up over the 30. Steps his way into Brayley. As Tyron Wishart's on the field now for Melbourne. Storm a 10 short of halfway. Grant one-handed pickup. Goes left away this time to the centre, Meany. Well, named in the centre, has actually been playing on the left wing here. He's tackled 2 short of halfway. Dummy half is Grant. Comes right to Munster. Then he offloads to Hughes. Terrible pass. Knocked on by Melbourne's House. Hudson Young put on the toe, and he was held off the ball in back play. The referee Goff is going to play the Melbourne knock on. And now, no, he's got him for the tackle off the ball. He's got that right, Peter Goff. Whether that came from the bunker or touch judge, I don't know, but ultimately, Tungy, it's the right call.
Yeah, absolutely. And Hudson Young, he's right in the thick of things always. But a great little change there, I think, from Bellamy. I think Wishart onto the field. There's some tired bodies. Yes, they're throwing the footy around, playing expansive, but there's some tired big bodies through the middle there from the Raiders. Wishart involved there with Harry Grant. I think it's a good change.
Sanders finds touch 30 out and also gives your team down on confidence. They'll try things they're not always going to come off.
Yeah, and Jack Howard got a shocking pass there, and really Joe Chan was lucky because Hudson Young, if he got a good piece of that, he could have chased and scored. That's what he's trying to do. But Canberra playing with confidence, and Melbourne all of a sudden gone into a hole again.
Here's Smithies, 30 out centre field. Jonty, it comes left to Hosking. He's wrapped up, 21 out for the Melbourne goal line. Dummy half Brayley, how long to go? 12 minutes and 15 seconds. Strange, short ball away to the second row of Martin. Crunching tackle. There's a Raider down in back play. Yeah, it is a penalty going to Canberra. I just saw it out of my peripheral vision, Tungy, because I was following the ball, but it was Strange who ended up hitting the deck.
Yeah, it certainly was. I'm just trying to see the man who was, whether it was Utoika Manu, I'm not too sure, but it certainly wasn't. They'll take the 2 here. Yep, comes a... Oh, no, there's not much in it. It's a little pushes.
But that's what makes it dumb for me, Tungy.
Yep.
Utoika Manu's come over, given him a two-handed shove well after he'd passed the footy. That is ridiculous play. Yeah. It wasn't a tackle. It was a push off the ball. And he hit the deck. So now they're going to take the 2 points, Sanders. And he's been in terrific kicking form, Ethan. He's kicked 4 from 5 to put Canberra up by 10. Update scores around the grounds. Get your text messages. In the AFL, Geelong 18, leading the Western Bulldogs 7. And on the text line, Kirk and Townsville, the Storm playing poorly. Of the other teams finally caught up. Oh, I don't think they're as good as they have been, and I think that's more roster related. But Canberra in this second half has been exceptional. The teams tend to play better against sides that aren't performing well. And Melbourne's definitely not the same team as the last 25 years. Here's Sanders. He strikes at 20 in from touch, likes it, kicks it again. His 5th goal of the evening. Canberra 26, Melbourne 16. 10 minutes 40 to go. NRL Friday here on Friday on ABC Sport with Alan Tung. John Gibbs, I'm Andrew Moore. I knew that one was right. Kick-off coming down from Suafalonga.
Yeah, just looking a bit at the possession there. The Canberra Raiders 53%, so they're just a fraction above their completion rate, though, at 84%. The Melbourne Storm, typically, when you think of the Melbourne Storm, they're high completing team. They're down 65%. So certainly a few handling errors there when they've got their footy in the hand.
So now the kick-off is taken by Chris. He gives it right to Smithies. And Smithies is tackled 15 out from his own line. 10 minutes to go before a great crowd. 17,321 for a 6 o'clock Friday night game. 17,321. It's a great atmosphere. So now Canberra outside their 20. And Tim McCall, he's got up limping. He's struggling to play the ball. He's clutching at his right leg.
Cramps there, I think.
Oh, it's cramps. His first game of the year, John Gibbs, and he might have a golf ball in the old calf there.
Yeah, he is. I can see the dimples on it. It is a golf ball. And he's...
Titleist?
No, I don't think so. That was his provisional. He is going to get stretched out here. Just by the way, on that completion of Melbourne and showing how they're lacking in confidence, coming into this round, coming into this game, their number 1 completions, 85%. And it's been terrible today. But again, I'll give credit to Canberra's defence, which 10 minutes from half-time to now has been brilliant.
Here's Strange attempting a deep kick from inside the 40 over the head of Failongo. It's going to end up bouncing over the dead ball line, is it? Failongo huffs and puffs and it does go dead. But he nearly weighted that to perfection, Ethan Strange. But a 20-metre tap for Melbourne. I reckon, is this the first 7 tackle set we've seen all night?
Yes, it is. It is. And what a kick there from Strange. Sanders has been doing the majority of the kicking, but you can see he absolutely launched that football. Nearly holds up in the end goal, but great kick as well.
Here's Howard for Melbourne. Caught 34 out from his own line. Played to Grant. He sends it open side left to King. And Josh King's caught 39 out from his own line. 8 minutes 45 to go. Canberra 26, Melbourne 16. And Timacor now is beyond the touchline getting that cramp treated. He's in a world of hurt. Melbourne, a metre short of halfway. We're Teddy. He plays the ball. They swing it from left to right. Centre field. Hughes away to now Meany. A right foot, in fact, Howarth. Right foot step. He's caught 6 metres in Canberra territory. There by Smithies and also Sanders. Jerome Hughes, 42 out. Lovely short ball away. Utoika Manu. Strolled through Hosking, but now caught 29 out from the Canberra line. Last tackle, Melbourne down by 10 with 8 minutes to go. Comes right to Hughes. Puts up the kick. Warbrick his target. It's well short of the goal line though. Warbrick the catch, but he's taken instantly by Hudson Young. 13 out from the Canberra line, and the Raiders fans love that. Change over to the Raiders, who lead 26-16.
Henry, well, the cramp is so bad that they've actually taken him off the field.
Yeah.
It's Hudson Young playing in the centres out there. So you'd really like to think that shifting that ball to the right-hand side, Howarth up against Hudson Young, but he has played a fair bit of centre or filled in his time.
Here's Simi Sasangi, who's making a great career out of that move now. Caught just inside his 30, played to Brayley, goes right to Stewart. He's caught 34 out from his own goal line. Now dummy half Jaden Brayley works it left to Corey Horsburgh. He'll be relieved if this score remains as it is after his faux pas early in the game. Played to Brayley, goes right Tarpany, who's put on his back 2 metres in Melbourne territory by King and Grant. Slow to his feet, Tarpany. He thinks that an illegality occurred on him. On the last, he goes left to Sanders, puts up the kick. Failongo, unlike his counterpart at the other end, does catch those balls, and he's got it 20 out from his own line. We've got 7 minutes to go. Canberra 26, Melbourne 16, after Canberra led 12-0. Melbourne led at halftime 16-12. Another interchange here for the Storm with Alec McDonald returning to the field. Storm 13 short of halfway. They need something here. Team down on confidence, staring down the barrel of a 5th straight loss. Wishart sends it left to Munster. Got the short pass away to Cooper Clark. He got a one-hander away to Furlongo. He gets it away further left. Darting for the line is Meany. Meany's going to score. We've got a grandstand finish. Silver Furlongo. I thought he might go himself, but he found Meany backing up. And it's now Canberra 26, Melbourne 20. Kick to come Storm, 6 minutes, 10 to go.
I tell you what, as soon as he gets his hands on the football, Furlongo, every Melbourne Storm fan, they stand up, every Canberra Raiders fan, they just close their eyes, and he just takes off. He has just got speed and a beautiful pass on the outside. Meany, he improves that position right around next to the post there, but this is what they can do, the Melbourne Storm. They can just turn something out of nothing.
26-20, here's Meany. 10 metres out in front to get Melbourne to within 4. 5.5 still to play. Meany kicks the goal. He converts his own try. He's 3 from 4. Canberra 26, Melbourne 22. Touchline, Johnny Gibbs.
This is why they've been such a good side over a long period of time. Was that young Cooper Clark who got the offload out there on the left edge to Suar, who gave it to Nick Meany. But brilliant play there by Melbourne, and really they haven't been able to string passes together, but that was brilliant. And just by the way, Furlongo has been able to take bombs much more comfortably than Kaya Wicks. Kaya Wicks should be going for them because the kicking game in Melbourne has been better. They've been putting pressure on Canberra, but when Canberra kicks, there's no pressure on Melbourne. But that's why also you take a penalty, 26-22, accumulate points. The penalty is now off the table at this stage.
Now in the AFL first quarter, Geelong 18, Bulldogs 7, Super Rugby, Moana Pacifica, having just announced that they'll be folding at the end of the year, lead the Waratahs 7-0. No score A-League men between Melbourne, Victory and Newcastle. Tell me, Tungy, tell me, that Kaya Weeks has not kicked it over the dead ball line on the full.
He certainly has, and the Raiders just gift an opportunity here now in half-time.
That begs the age-old question of, what the? How can you do that? When Canberra makes a mistake, it's not just an itty-bitty one. It's a monster. So penalty to Canberra, centre of halfway. 5 minutes and 5 seconds to go. Canberra 26, Melbourne 22. And Hughes finds touch on the eastern side, 30 metres out.
Unbelievable. Sua Furlongo, just some of his numbers there from 20 runs. He's got 200 run metres so far in this game.
Ricky Stewart's doing well not to have kicked every chair back into the grandstand. From the tap, Melbourne 20 metres out. They work it to the right, Munster away to Hughes. Turns it on the inside to Joey Chan. Defence is there. He turns his back on them, but he's taken there by Tarpany and one other, Horsburgh. 21 away, centre field. What a huge set this is, right here, right now. Grant to the left, Munster. Turns it back on the inside for Clark, and he's caught 15 out from the Canberra Raiders line midway through the tackle count. Harry Grant darts to the right, offloads to Munster to Hughes. Hughes at the line to Chan. Sanders was there one-on-one, but he did well. He held on long enough. Tackle made 6 out from the goal line. 2 left. Grant dummy half. Goes left to Hughes centre field. Steps into the defence, and he now can't be the kicker. On the last 9 metres out, he'll play it. Grant looks both ways. Goes right to Wishart. He puts up a little crossfield chip, but it's very shallow. Taken by Warbrick, 10 out. Pass goes out the back. It's really going everywhere on the ground. Finally dived on by Canberra's Horsburgh. 9 out for the Raiders line. And I think the Storm would like that over again. 3 minutes 40 to go. Canberra 26, Melbourne 22.
It was like a pinball machine there. The football just on the ground there. The Raiders come up with it, but you can just feel the tension, can't you? Who's it going to be? Who's going to hold their nerve right till the end here? What's going to be the player that's going to break it free?
Maybe he'd be belting those flippers, and then all of a sudden it'd come up. What would it say? Tilt. Here's Canberra with it on its own 30. Well, Melbourne might be tilting the outcome the Canberras thought they'd earned here. On their own 30, played to Chris. Goes right to Horsburgh. Wrapped up 15 short of halfway. Tackle comes from Utogamanu. Dummy half Brayley. Goes centre of the paddock to the right side. Canberra only 4 short of halfway, bringing up the last. And playing the footy now is Sanders. It comes away. Sanders with a kick. Downfield to the northwest corner. Pailongo says, I want it. He's got it. 10 out from his own line. Hitting a solid tackle. Hudson with it.
I think he might be a head clash here.
They've lost it. Young picks it up. Gives the pass away, and diving over to score is Hosking. Melbourne players are down everywhere. The Peter Goff says try. Canberra 30, Melbourne 22. 2 minutes 30 to go. Billy Walker sounds that horn. Failongo down for Melbourne. Tungy, run me through it.
Yeah, I think they're just going to have to come back and have a look at the contact that was on Failongo from Hudson Young. Whether there was a head clash there, he's lost that football. They come up, the Melbourne Storm players, they were blowing up. We've just got to have a bit of a look here. The ball comes through. What about Hudson Young again? His kick,
He's a freak.
Unbelievable.
Well, from what I've seen on the first replay, there doesn't seem to be an illegality. What about the flick pass too from Hudson to Hosking? Touchline, John Gibbs.
Yeah, not quite sure about this. I think so. Because he went in, and if they clashed heads, he does have to have the welfare of the player,
yes,
in the foremost of his mind. I think he's torn in at Failongo, who stepped. There's no intent, obviously, but we'll watch replay here.
Well, let's have a listen to the bunker now.
Hudson Young makes high contact.
That's it.
Decision made.
And that's... I can't argue with it. Tungy, that's penalised every day.
Like this, I mean, the intent is there to wrap up the football, to race hard, to put in a good shot. It's not to go for his head whatsoever. But he's made contact there.
That's the thing. Intent really doesn't mean anything, does it? If you go around the head, you're going to be penalised. And I feel a bit for Hudson Young. I feel more for Failongo because he copped it. He's to his feet, and hopefully he's all right. He's proving himself to be tough as nails tonight, so Failongo. But Hudson Young's effort in that, I know he's given away the penalty, but Ricky Stewart would be thrilled with that effort.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Now, this chance here with 2 minutes 33 to go. There's a couple of sets each. The Melbourne Storm will probably have another chance as well right at the death there. So this is going to be an absolute grandstand finish.
Oh, he's coming off Failongo.
Oh, yes.
Wow. And replaced by Locke Trent-Liero. He has been incredible, Sue Failongo. Down to you, John Gibbs.
Particularly when you consider that he's obviously been inconvenienced by a fairly serious ankle injury or sprain when he scored the try.
Yeah.
Hudson Young, incidentally, in the aftermath of that, was put on report.
Okay, mate. Thank you, Jonty. So, on report for a high tackle. Melbourne finds touch, 10 short of halfway. Tungy, get your 3-2-1s together because we're off to Darwin ostensibly in 4.5 minutes, provided this doesn't go to extra time. Grant, dummy half, goes left to Hughes, away to Wishart. He turns it back on the inside to Clark. Good strong run over halfway. He's caught 2 metres in Canberra territory. 2 minutes to go. Canberra 26, Melbourne 22. Here's Utogamanu running off Munster. Got away from Hosking. Still going. That's his best run of the night, Utogamanu. Stands at the tackle. 32 out from the Canberra line. Held up by Martin. Down to the right, Munster. Out the back for Hughes. Links up now with Howard. Howard to the 20. Well, great tackle to bring him down. 17 out from the goal line. Brilliant tackle there coming from Hudson Young. It's Hughes. Goes left left to Grant. Then away to Wishart centre field. A jinking, stepping run. Ended up behind you, Tukamanu, so quickly submits. 15 out for the Canberra line. Last tackle, Melbourne. They're down by 4. Munster to the right. Jerome Hughes plays it out the back. It's with Howard. Flick pass. Back to Warbrick. Caught. 7 out from the line. Change over. With a minute 12 to go, Alan Tung.
Unbelievable scenes here at Canberra. Hang about. We're putting it up. Challenges.
6. Stop. Melbourne are challenging the handover with stating there's high contact in the tackle.
It reeks to me of 2 words. First one, Hale. The second one, Mary.
Will.
But we'll find out.
What about the tackle, though, from Hudson Young, playing out in the centres there. Great low shot coming across here. As Howard's falling down. There's nothing in that. The ball that comes back in from Warbrick.
Confronted by Sanders. Or is there a bit of a tippy tap? Is there a tippy tap on the face?
There is no high contact. It is only incidental. The captain's challenge is unsuccessful.
So there you go. The crowd roar at the unsuccessful challenge. That should be enough for Canberra. John Gibbs on the touchline.
Indeed, I can understand how disappointed Melbourne are, but that would have been an absolute G-up. There was a fingernail. That was like a disruptor that they've abandoned now, abolished being
an obstruction.
Yeah, well, that was just nothing. So, as you say, it was a throw at the stumps, a Hail Mary. This has been a great game, but this is going to be the first time Craig Bellamy has lost 5 games in a row.
It's incredible. Minute to go. Canberra leads 26-22. For Canberra tries to Simi Sasung in the 6th minute. Corey Horsburgh in the 9th. Ethan Strange in the 45th. And Matt Timacor in the 61st. Sanders 5 from 6. Hudson Young on report for a high tackle. Canberra up to their 30. They've lost it. Tarpany's put it down, but it was raked. Penalty goes to Canberra. And that means game, set, bingo. The Raiders are going to win. They lead 26-22 with 30 seconds left. For Melbourne tries to Suafalono in the 12th minute. Will Warbrick in the 16th. And Nick Meaney in the 26th and 74th minutes. Meaney 3 goals from 4 attempts, 2 restarts, an unsuccessful challenge. Penalties are 6-3 to Canberra as the Raiders play 12 short of halfway. And the Viking clap starts here at Canberra Stadium as well. Great atmosphere and a great win for Canberra. Tarpany picks it up. Caught 5 out. Goff says you got to get up, but he doesn't, you know. It's game over and Canberra wins 26-22 in a thriller here in the nation's capital. All right, I need your ABC Player of the Year points, Alan Tung.
Oh, wow, what a game, and really hard from them by 3 and 2. But one win to Suafalono, the Melbourne. And one to Suafalono.
What a game. Canberra 26, Melbourne 22. A delight as always, Tungy. We'll see you down here soon.
Yep, thanks so much.
All right, John Gibbs will record an interview for Quentin Hull's post-game show. Thank you to our producer, Ralph Tucker, as ever, for Christian Hoff-Johnson and Mark Hennessy here, our men of sound at Canberra Stadium, and to Ned Hall in the studio. I'm Andrew Moore. Canberra wins by 4. Let's get to the game in Darwin. Quentin Hull.
Thanks, team. And we go from the relatively cool climes of the nation's capital to the top of the continent where it is hot, it is sticky, it is dry at the moment. Certainly no rain, but there is a very ominous Bureau of Meteorology radar for those that are looking at their apps and seeing a huge weather band coming in from the east. So I expect that this is going to be quite the, well, we've had the storm playing down in Canberra. We got the storm in the air coming our way here in Darwin. Quentin Hull alongside Billy Moore and Clinton Chifovsky for the Dolphins up against Penrith. So this is the new venture, which was previously Parramatta's domain. For so many years, the Eels would bring a game to this part of the world. Now the Dolphins are doing same. This is the first year of a 3-year deal where they're going to play at least one NRL game a year in these parts. And what a way to start it with the Penrith Panthers coming to town, and the Panthers themselves off the back of the loss to Canterbury Bankstown last week, their first loss of the season. Their 5 wins and 1 loss, while for the Dolphins, they've had the bye to contemplate just what went wrong at Dolphin Oval when Manly put 50 on them, and that was off the back of a loss to the Broncos in the Battle of Brisbane before that. So only 2 wins from 5 starts for the Finns. Penrith going along swimmingly, albeit that last start hiccup. Billy Moore, you were at Dolphin Oval to see the Finns last start. Welcome along to you. I couldn't believe the scores coming in from that night. Would have been a long week, I'd reckon, up at the Peninsula for Christian Wolf to get his men to try and refocus in on this game, and what an assignment it is.
Yeah, no, tougher assignment. And then obviously the Penrith Panthers, the ominous form in 2026, obviously lost last week, come back to earth a little bit, but they're still head and shoulders above the vast majority of the competition. What went wrong at Dolphin Park? Well, they completed it 38%. That's one thing. They had 14 errors. They missed 37 tackles. Those basic 1% fundamentals cube is where they fell down, and the Seagulls were ruthless, and that's exactly what's going to happen tonight if you turn the ball over against this Penrith team off the back of a loss. The bounce back factor for them, that they're smarting, in Penrith Panther Town. They didn't like getting beat. So it's an ominous opportunity that presents here for the Finns. They've got to be good, and if the weather comes in, they're going to be better. It's all about ball security, completion rates. Big kicking game. Katoa's got one of those great kicks, and they've just got to make sure every opportunity that comes their way tonight, they've got to take it, because you won't get me against the Panthers.
You know, when you go to those sort of functions and you get the alternate drop, and at dessert you sort of think, oh, one's got ice cream and then the other's got pudding. Well, I've got both tonight. I've got ice cream to my left and pudding to my right. So rarely do I get these two guys together. Usually it's the alternate drop between, I either get Billy Moore or Clinton Schifovski, but I got both tonight. Chock, welcome. How are you?
Great to be here, Hugh, and yes, you're winning tonight, definitely.
Oh,
definitely.
big time. Anomaly last week for the Panthers, or, what about these Finns? I think a lot of us had them among the contenders in 2026. Slow out of the blocks with a couple of, big name forwards coming back from long layoffs. How much leeway are we willing to give the Dolphins before we need to see something?
Yeah, I had them in my top 4 as well to start the season, so a little bit surprising. Christian Wolf, I think he's a terrific coach, and he'll get them back. But yeah, as you said earlier, they've had a couple of weeks of stew, and that really disappointing loss to Manly, so they'll be up for a great performance here tonight. They're going to need one against the Penrith Panthers.
And they're playing in their pink tonight, the Panthers. Out they come onto the field. Edwards at fullback, Jenkins and on the wings. Alamotti and Tungor in the centres. First game of the year for Tungor, and he's 100th in the NRL. Talangi and Cleary in the halves. Liotta and Smith up front with Kenny the hooker. Papali'i and Garner in the second row with Yoda locked forward. And 4 of these 6 off the bench for Nathan Cleary. Cogger, Sorensen, Going, Phillips, Fanua and Lussick. And here is the bugle in Darwin for the Dolphins. The Darwin Finns. It is going to be a regular stop for them over the next couple of years. They did play here 2 years ago against Parramatta and won that game quite comprehensively, 44-16. For the Finns tonight, Tavia Waifito at fullback, Asako and Cobbo on the wings, Avarillo and Farnworth in the centres, Nikorima and Katoa play in the halves. The starting front row is Gilbert and Molo. Kafusi's gone to the bench. Plath is the hooker. Lemuelo and Fine Fiuiaki in the second row. The Englishman Knowles is the lock forward, and that bench is Kafusi, Schneider, Flegler, Stone, Keeley and Fuller. The Dolphins run out. It's a packed house. It feels like they're about to play football in a sauna in Darwin.
Yeah, it'll be like that with the humidity in the high 80s, low 90s. That's exactly what it's like. Your body's going to overheat really quickly. So if you disrespect the ball, fatigue will set in quicker. There's so many matchups to talk about, Chock, but the back 5 of both these sides is mouth-watering how much strike is on that park.
Absolutely. Thomas Jenkins too, he's been in try-scoring form, so he has 14 tries to his name so far this season. Absolutely ridiculous. So look for a couple more from him tonight as well.
Adam G is the referee. Chris Butler is in the bunker, and as ever, we'd love to